Chapter 22. Before long, the ingredients and pill cauldron were sent up by the Alchemist Union. These are the ingredients needed to refine a Grade 1 blood pill. The refining time limit is 6 hours. Su Chuan's face darkened when he saw that the ingredients and pill cauldron had been prepared. In 6 hours, we will rank all of you according to the grade of your pills. When they heard Su Chuan's words, many people no longer hesitated and immediately got to work. While everyone else was making their moves, Yu Taiwan also began to make his move. However, he glanced arrogantly at Emo Qingyun and said, "Watch carefully, kid. I will show you what alchemy is." As soon as Yu Taiwan said that, Emo Qingyun saw a scarlet stone appear in Yu Taiwan's hand. When Yu Taiwan took out the scarlet stone, it immediately emitted a scorching heat wave that slowly condensed into a scarlet flame. Earth Flame Stone. Emo Qingyun's expression changed slightly when he saw the stone in Yu Taiwan's hand. He exclaimed in surprise, "I never imagined that Yu Taiwan would actually have such an item. No wonder he had the confidence to claim first place." The Earth Flame Stone was a very rare stone that came from underground lava and was condensed from pure flames. After refining it, it could be used during pill refining to allow an alchemist to control the size of the flame more easily and improve the quality of the pill. Yu Taiwan's expression changed when he saw that Emo Qingyun actually recognized the Earth Flame Stone. He said with some surprise, "You actually recognize the Earth Flame Stone? You're quite knowledgeable. If that's the case, you should now know how big the gap between you and me is." "How big is the gap?" Emo Qingyun nodded his head and glanced at Yu Taiwan disdainfully. "Even with the help of the Earth Flame Stone, you were only able to refine a Grade 1 pill. In my opinion, now that you have lost the Earth Flame Stone, anyone here is better at pill refining than you." "Anyone here is better than me? Do you mean that your pill refining ability is better than mine?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Yu Taiwan's face immediately darkened. He gnashed his teeth and said, "Brat, I want to see how your alchemy ability is better than mine. Then watch carefully." After hearing Yu Taiwan's words, Emo Qingyun didn't say anything else and directly attacked. Bang! Then, the crowd saw a dragon-shaped flame appear in Emo Qingyun's palm. This was a method that Emo Qingyun had comprehended when he advanced to the Pill King realm in his previous life. He had transformed the Scarlet Flame Heavenly Dragon Martial Spirit's power to assist in alchemy. "Is that demonic fire?" Seeing the dragon-shaped flame in Emo Qingyun's hand, Duro and the other two stood up from their chairs in excitement. Du Luo and the other two were only low-ranked pill alchemists, thus they were unable to tell that the dragon-shaped flame in Emo Qingyun's hand was transformed from his martial spirit. From their point of view, it should be a flame from a demonic beast that Emo Qingyun had obtained by chance. Demonic fire was a kind of flame that was condensed from the body of some powerful fire-type demonic beast. After refining it, it could assist in alchemy. Although both demonic fire and earth flame stone could assist in alchemy, there was a difference between the two. After refining the demonic fire, it would become an instinct of the user, unlike the earth flame stone, which was only used as a magic weapon. Therefore, many pill alchemists were eager to obtain the demonic fire. However, it wasn't that easy to obtain the demonic fire. It was something that could only be found by chance. That was why Du Luo and the other two were so shocked when they saw the flame in Emo Qingyun's hand. They had never thought that Emo Qingyun would have the demonic fire. This should be the demonic fire of a demonic beast with the blood of the lesser dragon tribe. I didn't expect this little guy to have such an opportunity. Zhao Qi's face was full of shock. He sighed in his heart. The weakest demonic beast of the lesser dragon tribe is comparable to a Yuan Dan expert. I really don't know how this little guy got the demonic fire. He is really lucky. With the help of the demonic fire, this little guy has a 90% chance of becoming a high-level pill alchemist, or even an elixir king. Suyu said excitedly, "This little guy is really full of surprises. He has brought us too many surprises." Elixir king. Du Luo and the other two were very excited when they thought of this. If they could cultivate an elixir king, it would be the pride of their lives. They would have no regrets in their lives. Hey! That Emo Qingyun seems to have mastered a kind of flame. It seems that the flame is quite strong. It looks good, but can it really help in alchemy? If it can't help in alchemy, it's useless. He's just showing off. Compared to Du Luo and the other two, the surrounding people were a little less knowledgeable. They were just curious. Qingyun, is he really the trash that the Emo clan says he is? Seeing Emo Qingyun summoning his martial soul flame, Emo Feilin clenched his fists in agitation. In the past few days, Emo Qingyun had brought him too many surprises. First, he concocted the Foundation Establishment Pill, achieved a breakthrough in his cultivation, and became the champion of the monthly examination. And now, in the Alchemist Alliance Guild's disciple recruitment competition, he had once again shocked the world with a single brilliant feat, displaying his outstanding talent. If Emo Feilin hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed it even if he was beaten to death. Because all of this was too shocking, too sudden. This nephew of Feilin's is truly surprising. Seeing Emo Qingyun's performance, Wu Ro's eyes lit up. She looked at Emo Feilin with a hint of gentleness. Is this wild brat really Emo Feilin's nephew? How could there be such a monster in the countryside? Seeing Emo Qingyun's shocking abilities time and time again, Wu Qing's heart was filled with fear. If she hadn't known that Emo Qingyun was Emo Feilin's nephew, she wouldn't have believed that Emo Qingyun came from the remote northern desert town. While the crowd was still shocked by Emo Qingyun's actions were shocking. It was as if Emo Qingyun's hands were filled with magic. His movements were as smooth as flowing water as he placed the ingredients into the cauldron. As Emo Qingyun placed the ingredients into the cauldron, they seemed to have gained a life of their own. As if a dragonfly skimming the surface of the water, they began to dance within the cauldron. Upon seeing this sight, Du Luo and the other two widened their eyes in shock. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Others might not be able to tell what technique Emo Qingyun was using at this moment, but they were able to. Dragonfly skimming the surface of the water. The technique that Emo Qingyun was executing was actually a profound pill forging technique, the dragonfly skimming the surface of the water. Even though most grade 2 apothecaries would be able to grasp this technique, they wouldn't be as proficient as Emo Qingyun in executing it. At this moment, Emo Qingyun's proficiency in using this technique was already on par with these old fellows. Is that brat really only 15 or 16 years old? Upon seeing Emo Qingyun's current performance, Du Luo and the others couldn't help but feel a sense of defeat. They felt as if they had lived their lives in vain. However, after a brief moment of defeat, the few old fellows turned to look at Emo Qingyun with fiery eyes once more. Initially, they thought that Emo Qingyun's pill-forging talent was already very high. However, they realized that they had still underestimated Emo Qingyun's talent. Look, Yu Taiwan is done. He's so fast. It took less than an hour. It looks like Yu Taiwan is going to take the first place this time around. Seeing that Yu Taiwan had successfully refined the pill, the surrounding people all spoke in awe. Under everyone's respectful and admiring gazes, Yu Taiwan took the successfully refined Qi pill and walked to Su Chuan. Elder Su Chuan, this is the Qi pill that I refined. Please take a look. Su Chuan then examined the Qi pill that Yu Taiwan refined and nodded with a faint smile. Not bad, not bad. It's a mid-grade grade 1 pill. Mid-grade grade 1 pill. Hearing Su Chuan's words, the surrounding people were all shocked. They looked at Yu Taiwan with awe. Yu Taiwan was only 20 years old, and he could already refine a mid-grade grade 1 pill. This was simply too amazing. Under everyone's gaze, Yu Taiwan arrogantly looked at Emo Qingyun, who was still refining the pill, and said, "Now, do you still think that your alchemy skills are better than mine? Is a mid-grade grade 1 pill that amazing?" Chapter 23. Humph. I want to see what kind of pills you can refine. Yu Taiwan's face darkened. He snorted coldly and walked to the side. Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to Yu Taiwan's behavior. He was fully focused on refining pills. Just like that, time passed little by little. As time passed, gradually, other people began to succeed in refining pills. However, the grade of their blood qi pills was slightly lower than Yu Taiwan's intermediate grade 1 pills. Some people's pills could not even be considered grade 1 pills. They could only be considered as grade 1 pills. Yu Taiwan's face was filled with pride when he saw that the pills refined were not as good as his own. When he saw that Mo Qingyun was still refining pills, the pride on Yu Taiwan's face intensified. He looked at Mo Qingyun and sneered, "Kid, do you think you can refine pills by stalling for time? Stalling for time?" Hearing Yu Taiwan's words, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a playful smile. He said, "Since you're so eager to be slapped in the face, I'll fulfill your wish." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, a strong pill fragrance wafted out from his pill cauldron. This was the sign of a successful pill refinement. After a while, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and scooped up the pills in the pill cauldron. 9 pills. Mo Qingyun refined a total of 9 blood qi pills in this cauldron. When they saw this scene, the surrounding people's faces twitched. They were shocked. They were exhausted from refining 1 pill in a cauldron. Moreover, they had to worry about failing. However, Mo Qingyun actually refined 9 pills in 1 cauldron. This was too crazy. 9 pills. When he saw that Mo Qingyun refined 9 pills in 1 cauldron, Yu Taiwan's face instantly flushed red. He looked as if he had eaten a fly. He exclaimed, "No. Impossible. How can he refine 9 pills in 1 cauldron? He must be cheating. Kid, you must be cheating. You can't possibly refine 9 blood qi pills in 1 cauldron," Yu Taiwan said emotionally. Cheating? After hearing Yu Taiwan's words, Mo Qingyun smiled disdainfully and said disdainfully, "Just because you can't do it doesn't mean that others can't. I originally thought that your alchemy skills were lacking, but now it seems that your temperament is even worse. If others are better than you, it's cheating. If you're better than others, it's not cheating?" Mo Qingyun looked at Yu Taiwan with disdain and said disdainfully. After replying to Yu Taiwan, Mo Qingyun brought the blood qi pill to Su Chuan and said in a low voice, "Elder Su Chuan, please take a look." "Yes." Su Chuan nodded and took the blood qi pill from Mo Qingyun's hand and carefully examined it. With one look, Su Chuan's expression immediately changed to one of shock. He exclaimed, "Top grade 1 pills. All 9 of them are top grade 1 pills." After a brief moment of shock, Elder Su Chuan sorted out his emotions and looked at Mo Qingyun with a complicated expression. 9 blood qi pills, all of them top grade 1. As soon as Elder Su Chuan's words fell, the crowd went into an uproar. Top grade 1 pills. Mo Qingyun's blood qi pills are all top grade 1 pills. This guy is too abnormal. Not only did he refine 9 pills in 1 furnace, but all of them are top grade 1 pills. Is this guy really only 16 years old? His alchemy skills are comparable to a grade 2 alchemist. Those who were competing with Mo Qingyun for the Alchemist Union's apprentice spot were all depressed when they saw this. "Haha, good disciple, you did well. You didn't embarrass me," Zhao Qi said excitedly after seeing Mo Qingyun's performance. Looking at him, it was as if Mo Qingyun's performance was all thanks to him. But was that really the case? "Zhao Qi, you old bastard, can you be any more shameless?" Seeing Zhao Qi's expression, Du Luo looked at him with disdain and said, "My disciple's performance has nothing to do with you. It's all because of me. Stop fooling around, it's all because of me." Su Yu also said, not to be outdone. Then, the 3 old men glared at each other again, not backing down. Looking at Zhao Qi and the other 2, Su Chuan was speechless. He sighed in his heart, "This has nothing to do with the 3 of you." Of course, Su Chuan did not dare to say this out loud. He could only say it in his heart. Top grade 1 pill. Qing Yun actually managed to concoct a top grade 1 pill. After knowing the grade of Mo Qingyun's blood qi pills, Mo Feilin almost fainted from happiness. He never expected Mo Qingyun to be able to refine top grade 1 pills. He originally thought that Mo Qingyun would be good enough if he could refine a quasi-grade 1 pill. If that's the case, Qing Yun is already a top grade 1 pill refiner. Mo Feilin's eyes lit up as he thought about it. That little monkey really knows how to make us suffer. Just how many secrets does he have? Top grade 1 pill refiner, Feilin's nephew is really something else. If he's willing to help us, Wu Rou thought that with Mo Qingyun's help, she might just be able to break through her clan's barrier. That brat is actually a top grade 1 pill refiner? Look at how I spoke to him earlier. After witnessing Mo Qingyun's capabilities, Wu Qing couldn't help but feel a chill run down her spine. She couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. SSS, what should I do if he seeks revenge on me? There was a huge gap between a top grade 1 pill refiner and a beginner grade 1 pill refiner. Wu Qing's clan didn't have to worry about a beginner grade 1 pill refiner, but if it was a top grade 1 pill refiner, they would have to treat him seriously. Not to mention, Mo Qingyun was such a young top grade 1 pill refiner. Just thinking about how she had offended such a young top grade 1 pill refiner made Wu Qing's intestines turn green with regret. Look for Mo Feilin. Yes, look for him for help. After a brief moment of panic, Wu Qing turned to look at Mo Feilin, hoping that Mo Feilin would put in a good word for her. As Mo Qingyun forged a top grade 1 blood qi pill, the gazes of the crowd toward him changed once more. Just like that, time slowly ticked by. Very soon, 6 hours were up. The third round of pill forging had come to an end, and the rankings were announced. With Mo Qingyun's perfect soul cultivation and the top grade 1 blood qi pill that he had forged, it was only natural that he would be ranked first. As for the second place, it was naturally Yu Taiwan. However, everyone knew that after witnessing Mo Qingyun's monstrous performance, there wasn't much of a difference between the second place and the 100th place. After the top 100 rankings were announced, Su Chuan handed out the identity tokens that he had prepared beforehand to Mo Qingyun and the others. After the tokens were handed out, Zhao Qi and the other 2 old men hurried over to Mo Qingyun's side. They coaxed Mo Qingyun into the Alchemist Alliance so that they could discuss the matter of Mo Qingyun becoming a disciple. Mo Qingyun felt a little helpless when he saw this. After bidding farewell to Mo Feilin, he followed the 3 old men into the Alchemist Alliance. Mo Qingyun didn't follow the 3 old men into the Alchemist Alliance to become a disciple. He was the youngest pill exalt on the Heavenly Soul continent in his previous life. Why would he need to become a disciple of a grade 3 pill refiner? His thoughts were that he had nothing on him right now. Given the wealth of these 3 old men, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get some benefits from them. Chapter 24. After following the 3 elders into the Alchemist Alliance, Mo Qingyun found a place to cultivate in seclusion, citing that today's alchemy was too tiring. In addition, before entering seclusion, Mo Qingyun also told the 3 elders to help him deal with the people who would come looking for him. With Mo Qingyun's experience in his previous life, he naturally guessed that after learning of his performance today, the big and small forces in Lianyun City would definitely extend their hands to recruit him or try to befriend him. The reason Mo Qingyun had agreed to come to the Alchemy Master Union to have a chat with the 3 old men was to avoid those people. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, if he was in the Greenwood trading firm, it would be troublesome to avoid those people. If they were dissatisfied with the Greenwood trading firm because of this, it would not be good for the Greenwood trading firm's future development in Lianyun City. But now, in the Alchemist Alliance, he did not need to worry about this. Everything would be taken care of by the Alchemist Alliance. After hearing Mo Qingyun's request, Du Luo and the other 2 quickly understood Mo Qingyun's thoughts and directly nodded in agreement. Good disciple, you can rest here peacefully. Master promises that no one will disturb you. Du Luo and the other two patted their chests and solemnly promised Emo Qingyun. After agreeing to Emo Qingyun's request, Du Luo and the other two looked at Emo Qingyun with a happy and gratified expression. Originally, the three of them were worried that Emo Qingyun would become arrogant and complacent because he won first place this time. But after seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, the three elders immediately understood that their worries were unnecessary. After explaining the matter to the three elders, Emo Qingyun did not hesitate and directly entered seclusion. Alchemist Alliance, Emo Qingyun's residence. At this moment, Emo Qingyun was sitting cross-legged on the ground. He took out a green jade bottle from his bosom and poured out a scarlet elixir. If Su Chuan was here, he would definitely recognize that this was the top-grade elixir refined by Emo Qingyun, the Qi and Blood Pill. Originally, Emo Qingyun was going to hand over these Blood Qi pills to the Alchemist Union. However, since Du Luo and the other two had spoken, Su Chuan returned the 9 Qi pills to Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun naturally wouldn't object to this. Right now, what he lacked the most was cultivation resources. With these Blood Qi elixirs, his cultivation would be able to take a huge leap forward in a short period of time. As soon as the Blood Qi pill entered his mouth, Emo Qingyun felt a majestic and pure medicinal power spread into his blood vessels. Thanks to this medicinal power, Emo Qingyun could clearly feel his flesh and blood slowly becoming stronger. After discovering this, Emo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately began to refine and absorb it. In the blink of an eye, 5 days had passed. After 5 days of crazy refining, the 9 Qi and Blood Qi pills that Emo Qingyun refined during the assessment were all refined and absorbed by him. After refining these 9 Qi and Blood Qi pills, Emo Qingyun's gains were huge. His cultivation had directly risen from Body Tempering Stage 4 to the peak of Body Tempering Stage 4. Now, he only needed an opportunity to naturally break through to the 5th layer of Body Tempering realm. When Emo Qingyun saw this, he did not continue to cultivate. He waited for the moment when success would naturally follow. After stopping his cultivation, Emo Qingyun walked out of the house and smiled faintly. Fourth uncle must be very worried after cultivating for 5 days in a row. I'll make a trip back to the Greenwood Company first. However, what Emo Qingyun didn't expect was that when he opened the door, he saw a few familiar faces. The owners of these faces were naturally Du Luo and the other two. You guys, seeing Du Luo and the other two guarding outside his house, Emo Qingyun felt touched. Good disciple, you're done with your cultivation? Seeing Emo Qingyun come out, Zhao Qi first smiled. Then, he threw a Qiankuan bag to Emo Qingyun and said, "In here are the gifts that we've received on your behalf these past few days." Received gifts? After hearing Zhao Qi's words, Emo Qingyun was slightly stunned and asked in confusion. Seeing Emo Qingyun's puzzled expression, Zhao Qi and the other two smiled treacherously and explained, "In the past few days, many people have come to visit you, so we took some benefits for you while we were at it. But don't worry, after we took some benefits from them, we sent them all away." After hearing the three's words, Emo Qingyun instantly felt a chill run down his spine. He was speechless to the extreme. At the same time, he also felt sorry for those who were on good terms with him. Meeting these 3 old guys, they could be considered to have 8 lifetimes of bad luck. While sighing in his heart, Emo Qingyun opened the Qiankuan bag to take a look. Instantly, his face was filled with shock. This is a 100-year second-grade spiritual herb, snow orchid grass, a 100-year second-grade spiritual herb, amethyst flower, and a 40-year third-grade spiritual herb, fire sunflower golden branch. Looking at the various spiritual herbs in the Qiankuan bag, Emo Qingyun's heart was instantly filled with excitement as he secretly rejoiced. These guys are quite generous. With these spiritual herbs, his following cultivation speed would definitely increase by another level. In a short period of time, he wouldn't have to worry about the lack of cultivation resources anymore. Immediately, Mo Qingyun didn't stand on ceremony and directly kept the Qiankuan bag. As for the consequences of accepting these people's benefits and not working for them, this wasn't something that Mo Qingyun could care about. In any case, these spiritual herbs weren't taken by Du Luo and the other two. When the time came, he could just figure it out and pretend to be ignorant. President, two founding elders, I plan to make a trip back first. Looking at Du Luo and the other two in front of him, Mo Qingyun said faintly. Make a trip back. Hearing that Mo Qingyun wanted to go back, Du Luo's eyes immediately lit up as he added, You've been here for a few days, you really need to make a trip back. Otherwise, your parents will be worried. However, when you go back, you must properly tell them about you acknowledging me as your master. Pei, old geezer Du, don't you have any shame? You clearly acknowledged me as your master. Hearing Du Luo's words, Zhao Qi and the other two immediately refused to be outdone. Seeing the actions of the three old men in front of him, Mo Qingyun felt a wave of speechlessness and didn't know what to say. Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression, Su Yu signaled to him and said, Good disciple, you can go back first. You don't have to worry about the matters here. And Mo Qingyun nodded in response and left the scene, walking out of the Alchemist Alliance Guild. Mo Qingyun wasn't worried about the quarrel between Du Luo and the other two. These three people's actions were all due to their personalities and wouldn't affect the harmony between them. Moreover, he felt that if he stayed there, it would only make the situation even more chaotic. After leaving the Alchemist Alliance Guild, Mo Qingyun directly returned to the Greenwood Trading Company. However, when Mo Qingyun returned to the Greenwood Trading Company, what surprised him was that Wu Rou and her sister were actually there. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and greeted Wu Rou with a smile. Fourth aunt, you're also here. Hearing Mo Qingyun call her fourth aunt, Wu Rou immediately felt a little embarrassed. Stinking brat, you're finally willing to come back. If you didn't come back, I was going to go to the Alchemist Alliance Guild to ask for you. Seeing Mo Qingyun return, Mo Feilin patted his shoulder and laughed. It was obvious that Mo Feilin was in a good mood today. Stop bragging. I'm afraid that you'll be scared out of your wits before you even reach the Alchemist Alliance Guild. Hearing Mo Feilin's bragging, Wu Rou rolled her eyes and laughed. Seeing that his bragging was exposed by Wu Rou, Mo Feilin laughed awkwardly. Following that, Wu Rou chatted with Mo Qingyun and the others for a while. However, Wu Qing didn't speak much. Perhaps sensing Wu Qing's awkwardness, Wu Rou spoke up, Feilin, we won't disturb the two of you anymore. We'll return first. We'll visit you tomorrow. Alright. Hearing Wu Rou's words, Mo Feilin nodded his head and hurriedly stood up. I'll send you out. A moment later, Mo Qingyun saw Mo Feilin return with a smile on his face and asked, Fourth uncle, the Mo clan isn't stopping you and fourth aunt anymore? When the Mo clan learned that you were the champion of the Alchemist Alliance Guild, they decided to turn a blind eye to my relationship with Wu Rou. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Mo Feilin looked at Mo Qingyun with a complicated expression and said, I think that they're trying to get on your good side. Speaking of which, fourth uncle and Wu Rou are benefiting from your good side. Fourth uncle, don't say that. There's no such thing as benefiting from my good side. Mo Qingyun quickly waved his hand to interrupt Mo Feilin. Then, he added, it's fine as long as they don't interfere with your relationship with fourth aunt. Mo Qingyun wasn't surprised by the Wu clan's actions. Unless the Wu clan was a fool, they wouldn't let go of this opportunity to get on his good side. Once Wu Rou became his fourth aunt, they would be in-laws. Naturally, they would be able to benefit from being in a favorable position. At the very least, the Wu clan had such foresight. By the way, what do you plan to do next? Are you going to stay in the Alchemist Alliance Guild? Mo Feilin asked seriously when he thought of Du Luo and the other two. Also, the three masters in the Alchemist Alliance Guild think highly of you. Who do you plan to be your disciple? No, I plan to return to the northern desert town in a few days. As for the matter of being my disciple, we'll talk about it the next time I come. Emo Chinyun thought for a while and said slowly. That's fine too. I'll make a trip back to the clan in 3 days. You can come with me then. Emo Feilin nodded. Okay, then we'll go back together in 3 days. Emo Chinyun nodded and said. Fourth uncle, after we return to the clan, I hope that you can help me keep the matter in Lianyun City a secret. I don't want others to know about it yet. Okay. Chapter 25. Greenwood Trading Firm, Emo Chingyun's residence. After discussing the matter of returning to the Emo clan with Emo Feilin, Emo Chingyun once again started cultivating. At this moment, Emo Chinyun took out the third-grade body-strengthening pill that Zhao Qi had given him and swallowed it to refine. As soon as the body-strengthening pill entered his abdomen, Emo Chinyun sensed that its medicinal power, which was purer and more abundant than that of the blood Qi pill, spread out from the body-strengthening pill and permeated into his blood and flesh. Under the effect of the solid pill, Emo Chinyun could feel a warmth in his body, as if the blood and muscles in his body were pulsating at this moment. This feeling made him feel very comfortable. At the same time, Emo Chinyun could clearly feel that the strength of his body was slowly increasing. The effect of this solid pill is not bad. After this discovery, Emo Chinyun's face was filled with joy. Without any hesitation, he immediately started to refine and absorb the energy of the solid pill. A day later, Emo Chinyun, who had been cultivating in silence, opened his eyes, a look of pleasant surprise on his face. Fifth layer body tempering realm. After a day of cultivation, with the help of the solid pill, his cultivation had finally broken through to the fifth layer body tempering realm. Although his cultivation had reached the fifth layer body tempering realm, Emo Chinyun did not stop there, but continued to cultivate. This was because the energy of the solid pill had not completely dissipated in his body. There was still a small amount of energy left in his body. Another day later, under Emo Chinyun's continuous absorption, the remaining energy of the solid pill was finally completely absorbed by him. With this, Emo Chinyun stopped cultivating, his face filled with joy. Emo Chinyun did not expect that after completely absorbing the energy of the solid pill, his cultivation would not only break through to the fifth layer body tempering realm. Not only that, but he had also completely stabilized his cultivation of the fifth layer body tempering realm, and was now much closer to the sixth layer body tempering realm. After this discovery, Emo Chinyun's heart was filled with joy. He had a feeling that if nothing went wrong, his cultivation would reach the sixth layer body tempering realm within 10 days. Apart from the breakthrough in his cultivation, Emo Chinyun was also overjoyed by the increase in his physical strength after absorbing the solid elixir. My current physical strength is comparable to a body tempering stage 7 practitioner. Feeling the strength of his body, Emo Chinyun's face was full of pride, and a sense of pride rose in his heart. He was confident that he could even put up a fight against a 7th layer body tempering realm cultivator. Subsequently, Emo Chinyun practiced the 9-stage collapse and swift shadow steps to familiarize himself with his current situation. Perhaps it was due to the breakthrough in his cultivation, but after a period of cultivation, Emo Chinyun discovered that the 9-stage collapse had actually allowed him to cultivate it to the mastery stage. As for the swift shadow steps, although it was still at the mastery stage, it could be used more freely. After practicing the martial skill and familiarizing himself with his current strength, Emo Chinyun frowned slightly and thought to himself, "There's still one more day before I return to the northern desert town. I can use this time to refine a few cauldrons of elixirs." With this thought, Emo Chinyun no longer hesitated and immediately started to refine elixirs. Now that I have a lot of second-grade spiritual herbs and the elixir cauldron that Su Yu gave me, I can start to refine some second-grade elixirs. With this thought, Emo Chinyun took out the crimson cauldron that Su Yu gave him. Then, he took out the herbs and spiritual herbs that he needed to refine elixirs. After everything was ready, Mo Qingyun started to refine the elixirs. This time, he was going to refine the second-grade body tempering elixir. Its effect was between the blood qi elixir and the solid elixir. Bang! Mo Qingyun gently tapped with his right hand and a ball of martial spirit fire was sent into the elixir cauldron. After sending the martial spirit fire into the elixir cauldron, Mo Qingyun's hands tapped lightly, like a dragonfly skimming the surface of the water. He placed the herbs and spiritual herbs into the elixir cauldron in an orderly manner and started to refine them slowly. After the herbs and spiritual herbs were placed into the elixir cauldron, they melted little by little under the refinement of the martial spirit fire, and their impurities were removed. After a few hours, all the impurities in the elixir cauldron had been removed. After seeing this, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious, and he started to merge the herbs and spiritual herbs into elixirs. Forming elixirs was a very important process in refining elixirs. Even Mo Qingyun did not dare to be careless. Then, under Mo Qingyun's control, the herbs and spiritual herbs in the elixir cauldron slowly merged together. After about 15 minutes, an abundant elixir fragrance was emitted from the elixir cauldron. Then, 11 azure elixir pills were condensed from the elixir cauldron. From the luster of these elixir pills, one could tell that each of them was a high-grade elixir. Moreover, from the fluctuations of their medicinal energy, it was definitely not something that a low-grade elixir pill could possess. 11 elixirs, a top-grade second-grade body-tempering elixir. Not bad. Looking at the elixirs in his hand, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile. Refining 11 top-grade second-grade body-tempering elixirs in one cauldron was the limit of Mo Qingyun's current cultivation. Regarding this, Mo Qingyun was quite satisfied. However, at this moment, if Du Luo and the others were here, they would definitely be scared out of their wits. Turned out that Mo Qingyun's true alchemist level was not a top-grade first-grade alchemist, but a top-grade second-grade alchemist. A 16-year-old top-grade second-grade alchemist. If this were to be spread out, it would scare many people to death. With these 11 body-tempering elixirs, it should be enough for me to cultivate to the 6th layer of body-tempering realm. Carefully storing the 11 body-tempering elixirs into a jade bottle, Mo Qingyun secretly thought to himself. After storing the body-tempering elixirs, Mo Qingyun prepared to cultivate again. However, at this moment, Mo Feilin knocked on the door, looking for him. Subsequently, Mo Qingyun found out from Mo Feilin that the Wu family's head had arrived and said that he wanted to see him. The Wu family's head? Mo Qingyun frowned when he heard Mo Feilin, and then he revealed a playful smile as he said to himself, "Looks like the Wu clan can't sit still any longer. However, it's good to meet them. I'll be able to resolve one of fourth uncle's worries." After a short moment, Mo Qingyun followed Mo Feilin to the Greenwood Trading Company's living room. At this moment, there were already 3 people sitting in the living room. A middle-aged man and 2 young women. The 2 young women were naturally Wu Rou and her sister. Thus, the middle-aged man should be the Wu family's head, Wu Bingtian. This must be little brother Mo Qingyun. As expected, you are a talented man. Heroes come from youths. When Wu Bingtian saw that Mo Qingyun had arrived, he enthusiastically welcomed Mo Qingyun and revealed a hearty smile. When Mo Qingyun heard Wu Bingtian's address, he was speechless. His forehead was covered in cold sweat. Little brother? Wu Bingtian should be Mo Feilin's father-in-law. According to the backup, Wu Bingtian was 2 generations older than him. Now Wu Bingtian actually called him little brother. This seniority seemed a little messy. Wu family's head, you are too polite. Please sit. When Mo Qingyun saw this, he smiled politely and gestured to Wu Bingtian to take a seat. Seeing Mo Qingyun's indifferent expression, Wu Bingtian was slightly stunned. The way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed. At this moment, Wu Bingtian's evaluation of Mo Qingyun in his heart increased by several points. The little boy in front of him was far more outstanding than he had imagined. He had a steadiness and experience that far surpassed his age. If it weren't for Mo Qingyun's young and tender face, Wu Bingtian would have thought that the person sitting in front of him was an old man that had lived for over 100 years. Wu family's head, I heard that if my fourth uncle wants to marry fourth aunt, he needs to prepare 10,000 spirit essence stones? After sitting down, Mo Qingyun got straight to the point and asked Wu Bingtian. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, not only was Wu Bingtian stunned, but even Mo Feilin and the others were stunned. Chapter 26. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wu Bingtian was speechless for a while. After a pause, he said, Haha, this is just a joke. It was just a test for Feilin. Even my Mo family can't take out 10,000 elemental spirit stones. After hearing Wu Bingtian's words, Mo Feilin and Wu Ro's expressions changed. A burst of excitement rose in their hearts. They looked at Mo Qingyun with gratitude in their eyes. Then what does Patriarch Wu mean? After seeing Wu Bingtian's attitude, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and continued to ask. Haha, as long as Feilin and Ro are sincere, the betrothal gift is just a formality. You said it, little brother Qingyun. Wu Bingtian chuckled and winked at Mo Qingyun. After seeing Wu Bingtian's expression, Mo Qingyun was speechless. He smiled awkwardly and said, Haha, of course. Seeing Mo Qingyun's awkward expression, Wu Bingtian's lips curled into a faint smile. He thought to himself, in the end, he's still a young boy. It's over with just a few words. After Mo Feilin's matter was discussed, Mo Qingyun's heart relaxed, and one of his worries was resolved. Then, he and Wu Bingtian talked about some other things. For example, when he would help the Wu family refine some pills and so on. Of course, he wouldn't refine the pills now. He would have to wait until he became a grade 2 alchemist. In the Wu family's eyes, grade 1 pills weren't very useful. If they had enough money, they could still obtain grade 1 pills through many channels. Therefore, in their opinion, it was more appropriate to wait until Mo Qingyun became a grade 2 alchemist before asking Mo Qingyun to refine the pills. They believed that with Mo Qingyun's talent, it wouldn't take long for him to become a grade 2 alchemist. At this time, the Wu family could still afford to wait. About an hour later, Wu Bingtian saw that some things were discussed properly, so he smiled with satisfaction and said, In this case, little brother Qingyun, I won't disturb you anymore. Today I will take my leave first. I will come and talk with you another day. After hearing Wu Bingtian's words, Mo Qingyun's forehead was once again covered in cold sweat. He sighed inwardly. It seems that the seniority is completely messed up. However, Mo Qingyun still replied with a faint smile, Wu family head, take care. I'll send you off. After seeing Wu Bingtian off, Mo Qingyun and Mo Feilin chatted with each other for a while. Then, they returned to their residence to continue their cultivation. Mo Qingyun knew that now that Wu Bingtian had tacitly acknowledged Mo Feilin and Mo Qingyun's concern, the two of them should have a lot to talk about. After returning to his residence, Mo Qingyun took out a body-tempering pill and swallowed it. Then, he started to refine and absorb the pill. Once the body-tempering pill entered his stomach, it transformed into a pure medicinal power that slowly tempered Mo Qingyun's body. Under the effects of the body-tempering pill, Mo Qingyun felt that his body was like a piece of iron that was being hammered 1,000 times. It was becoming stronger little by little. After a few hours, just as Mo Qingyun was refining the third body-tempering pill, Mo Feilin's voice came from outside his room. It was Mo Feilin informing him that they would be returning to the Mo family soon. After seeing this, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating. After washing up, he followed Mo Feilin back to the Mo family. Half a day later, Mo Qingyun and the others returned to the Mo family. After returning to the Mo family, Mo Qingyun and Mo Feilin parted ways and returned to their residence. After a while, Mo Qingyun returned to his residence. However, what surprised Mo Qingyun was, at this moment, there were two beautiful figures giggling in his residence. After seeing the two beautiful figures, Mo Qingyun was stunned. He asked in surprise, "Sister Xian Mo Xiao, why are you here? What? You don't welcome us?" After Mo Xiao and Mo Xian heard this, they both puffed out their full chests and pretended to be displeased as they rolled their eyes at Mo Qingyun. Looking at the two women's chests, Mo Qingyun suddenly felt guilty. He smiled and said, "No, it's not that. It's just a little too unexpected. At least you know what's good for you." After hearing Mo Qingyun's reply, Mo Xian and Mo Xian were satisfied. They secretly smiled and exchanged glances. Then, Mo Xian revealed a sly smile. She looked at Mo Qingyun and said, "Qingyun, I heard that you and fourth uncle went to Lianyun City. Did you have fun in the city? Did you bring back any gifts for us?" Gifts? After hearing Mo Xian's words, Mo Qingyun suddenly felt a headache. He felt guilty again. What kind of joke was this? He was a dignified venerable in his previous life. He was the youngest pill venerable in the Tianhun continent. He was an old monster who had lived for hundreds of years. Was there even a chance that he would choose gifts for two young girls? Although this was what he thought, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to say it out loud. After hesitating for a moment, Mo Qingyun's eyes suddenly lit up. He said in a clear voice, "Of course I prepared gift. If you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten." Then, Mo Qingyun took out a jade bottle from his bosom. He poured out 4 body-tempering pills and gave 2 to each of the 2 girls. Pills? Looking at the green pills in their hands, the 2 girls were surprised. A sweet feeling rose in their hearts. Medicinal pills were very rare to them, even if it was a low-grade Tier 1 medicinal pill. From the looks of it, Mo Qingyun was truly considerate. The northern desert town was different from Lianyun City. There was the Alchemist Alliance. From time to time, there would be some pills for sale from the Alliance. Most of the pills in the northern desert town were sold from Lianyun City. They were extremely rare and precious. This was also the reason why the 2 girls were surprised when they saw the pills in Mo Qingyun's hands. Seeing the 2 girls' satisfied faces, Mo Qingyun let out a sigh of relief. He smiled and said, "This time, I went to Lianyun City and bought a lot of herbs and elixirs. These 4 body-tempering pills were refined by me using those herbs and elixirs. I specially gave them to you as a gift." At this moment, Mo Qingyun saw that he had already panicked. He simply put on a show and continued to talk nonsense. "You refined them?" Hearing that the pills were refined by Mo Qingyun himself, Mo Xian and Mo Xiao were both shocked and surprised. However, if one looked carefully, they would notice that Mo Xian and Mo Xiao were surprised differently. Mo Xiao was surprised that Mo Qingyun had such an ability, while Mo Xian was surprised that Mo Qingyun actually came up with a new trick. He upgraded the foundation establishment liquid from last time to a pill. Although the improvement seemed to be great, and the pill looked good, Mo Xian did not dare to eat it. Who knew what materials Mo Qingyun used to refine the pills? Would there be any side effects if she ate it? If she were to get into trouble after eating it, that would be terrible. Could it be that she would find trouble with Mo Qingyun? No matter what, Mo Qingyun had given her the medicinal pills out of kindness that was hard to come by. Then, Mo Xian's mind quickly thought. After a short moment of thinking, Mo Xian's eyes lit up. She said to Mo Xiao, "Xiao Xiao, it's good that Qingyun has such a kind heart. We should return the pills to him. After all, these pills are too precious." The reason why Mo Xian said this was because she was worried that Mo Xiao would make a mistake after taking the pills. Mo Xiao did not think as much as Mo Xian. After hearing Mo Xian's words, she felt that it made sense. She returned the pills to Mo Qingyun and said, Sister Xin is right. I'll return the pills to you. Next time, remember to bring me other gift. Seeing the two's actions, Emo Qingyun showed a trace of surprise. He was surprised by the two's actions. However, after a short moment of surprise, Emo Qingyun looked at Emo Xiao and said, Emo Xiao, Sister Xion's cultivation is already at body tempering 10th layer. The body tempering pill will not have much effect on her. However, you are now close to breaking through to body tempering 5th layer. As long as you take a body tempering pill, your cultivation will immediately enter body tempering 5th layer. Really? After hearing this, Emo Zhao's beautiful eyes lit up. She asked in surprise. After seeing Emo Zhao's expression, Emo Xian became anxious. However, she did not dare to stop Emo Xiao from taking the body tempering pill. Yes. After hearing Emo Zhao's words, Emo Qingyun nodded his head in confirmation. Okay, then I'll take one now. Seeing Emo Qingyun nod his head, Emo Xiao did not think much and directly swallowed the body tempering pill. Chapter 27. As soon as the body tempering pill came out of Emo Zhao's mouth, it dissolved into pure medicinal power and entered Emo Zhao's body, tempering her body. After discovering this, Emo Zhao's face immediately revealed a surprised smile as she quickly refined the medicinal power. As the medicinal power of the body tempering pill was slowly refined, Emo Zhao's aura began to slowly become stronger. After about 15 minutes, Emo Zhao's aura finally reached its peak. Body tempering stage 5. With the help of the body tempering pill, Emo Zhao's cultivation finally broke through to body tempering stage 5. Breakthrough. Feeling the change in Emo Zhao's aura, Emo Xian's eyes widened in disbelief. After Emo Xiao consumed the body tempering pill, she thought of countless possibilities. However, she never thought that after Emo Xiao consumed the body tempering pill, her cultivation would directly break through. Could it be that he succeeded in concocting another pill? How is this possible? After this thought appeared, Emo Xian suddenly felt dizzy. She still couldn't believe it. Since when did pills become so easy to concoct? Following this, Emo Xian's eyes widened as she looked at Emo Qingyun as if she was looking at a monster. Her gaze made Emo Qingyun's hair stand on end. While Emo Xian was still in disbelief, Emo Xiao stopped cultivating and thanked Emo Qingyun with a face full of joy. Thank you, Qingyun. You're welcome. In response to Emo Zhao's words of gratitude, he replied with a faint smile. However, when he saw Emo Zhao's full chest, he couldn't help but feel guilty. He thought to himself, this is my reward for touching your white rabbit in the monthly examination. Of course, Emo Qingyun didn't dare to say this out loud. While Emo Qingyun was thinking to himself, Emo Xiao gratefully handed over the remaining body tempering pill to Emo Qingyun and said, Qingyun, this body tempering pill is too precious. I've already used one to break through, so I'll return the remaining one to you. After seeing Emo Zhao's action, Emo Qingyun's impression of Emo Xiao improved a little. He said with a smile, Take it, I still have more body tempering pills. Since you have just had a breakthrough, taking one more will help you stabilize your cultivation. Yes. When he heard Emo Qingyun's words, Emo Xiao obediently nodded his head. When he looked at Emo Qingyun, there was a different light in his eyes, as if he had made up his mind about something. Emo Qingyun didn't notice the change in Emo Zhao's expression. After replying to Emo Xiao, Emo Qingyun turned to look at Emo Xian and said with a smile, Sister Xian, although the body tempering pill doesn't have much of an effect on your cultivation, it can still strengthen your body. Take these 2 body tempering pills. Now that he had seen the effects of the body tempering pill, Emo Xian naturally no longer doubted the effects of the body tempering pill. He said somewhat embarrassedly, then I won't be polite. After receiving the body tempering pills, Emo Xian revealed a trace of curiosity. She looked at Emo Qingyun and asked, Tell me honestly, did you really refine these body-tempering pills? After being questioned by Mo Xian, Mo Qingyun was speechless. He replied, I really did refine them, is there something wrong with that? As if he was worried that Mo Xian wouldn't believe him, Mo Qingyun unconsciously explained, also, I am now a grade 2 alchemist. Besides the body-tempering pill, I can also refine many other types of pills. Grade 2 alchemist? After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Xian and Mo Zhao's expressions froze. They were somewhat surprised by Mo Qingyun's words. Pucci. After a short moment of surprise, Mo Xian and Mo Zhao covered their mouths and laughed. It was obvious that they doubted Mo Qingyun's words. Stinking brat, stop bragging. Do you think that a grade 2 alchemist is the same as a body-tempering second-layer martial artist? You can easily reach it. In our entire northern desert town, I'm afraid we don't even have 5 grade 2 alchemists. Mo Xian rolled her eyes at Mo Qingyun. It was obvious that she didn't believe Mo Qingyun's words at all. After hearing Mo Xian's words, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with grievances. He was somewhat depressed in his heart. When Mo Xian saw Mo Qingyun's gloomy expression, she smiled again and said, however, the way you lie is quite methodical. You look like a real liar. I really am a grade 2 alchemist. Not only that, I also obtained first place in the Alchemist Alliance's disciple assessment in Lianyun City. Mo Qingyun explained again. Alchemist Alliance? What kind of place is that? Mo Xian and Mo Zhao were stunned at first. Then, they laughed even more happily. Mo Xian said, okay, you don't have to explain. It doesn't matter if these pills were refined by you or if you bought them. Xiao and I appreciate your kindness. Okay. Mo Zhao nodded her head and said, Qingyun, don't be discouraged. I believe that one day you will definitely become a grade 2 alchemist. Seeing Mo Xian and Mo Zhao's actions, Mo Qingyun felt a wave of helplessness. He didn't want to explain anymore. Previously, he was still worried that if the Mo clan found out that he obtained first place in the Alchemist Alliance's disciple assessment, there would be some trouble. But now, it seemed that he was overthinking. It seemed that no one would believe him if he told them about this. After all, a grade 2 alchemist was too far away for the Mo clan. Oh right. After chatting for so long, I almost forgot to tell you something important. After fooling around with Mo Qingyun for a while, Mo Xian's face suddenly turned serious and said, I heard that Mo Hai had a fortuitous encounter recently. Not only did his injuries recover, but his cultivation also reached the peak of body tempering stage 5. During the next monthly examination, his cultivation will most likely break through to body tempering stage 6. You should be careful when you meet him. Mo Hai had a fortuitous encounter? Hearing this news, Mo Qingyun was a little surprised, but he didn't take it to heart. Even though body tempering stage 6 wasn't weak, it wasn't enough to pose a threat to him. Not only that, Mo Hai also said that during the next monthly examination, if you meet him, he will break your arms and legs. Mo Zhao's face was full of worry as she added this sentence. She then advised Mo Qingyun, Qingyun, in my opinion, if you meet Mo Hai during the next monthly examination, you shouldn't fight with him. Mo Hai is really strong now. Really strong? After hearing Mo Zhao's words, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a playful smile. He didn't take Mo Hai's words to heart. However, in order to reassure the two women, Mo Qingyun still replied with a faint smile, yes, I will be careful when the time comes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the two girls heaved a sigh of relief. Following this, the two girls chatted with Mo Qingyun for a while more before leaving. However, when Mo Zhao left, she looked as if she wanted to say something. In the end, she didn't say anything and left with Mo Xian. During the next monthly examination, you will break my arms and legs? After the two girls left, Mo Qingyun recalled Mo Zhao's words and a playful smile appeared on his face. Following this, Mo Qingyun didn't slack off. He took out a body-tempering pill and swallowed it before he started cultivating again. Even though he didn't take the next monthly examination seriously, he didn't dare to be careless during the year-end competition. Mo Tsang wasn't someone Mo Hai could compare to. Now that Mo Tsang's cultivation had reached body-tempering stage 9, he might reach body-tempering stage 10 during the year-end competition. Chapter 28. After the two girls left, they didn't come back for the next few days. They were probably refining the body-tempering pills. Mo Qingyun didn't think too much about it and focused on his cultivation. 5 days later. Over the past few days, Mo Qingyun had refined and absorbed all of the remaining body-tempering pills in his possession. At this moment, Mo Qingyun, who had been cultivating with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes. His aura suddenly increased. Body-tempering stage 6. After these days of cultivation, his cultivation finally broke through to body-tempering stage 6. I finally broke through to body-tempering stage 6. The breakthrough made Mo Qingyun happy. He thought to himself, there's still half a month before the monthly test. Maybe I can break through to body-tempering stage 7 before the monthly test. Body-tempering stage 7 was a watershed in the body-tempering realm. Once one's cultivation broke through to body-tempering stage 7, one's body would condense inner strength and his strength would multiply. However, I've already used up all my pills. I still need to refine a few cauldrons of pills. After thinking about it, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He took out the scarlet flame cauldron and started to refine pills. With my current strength, I can try to refine level 3 pills. Mo Qingyun planned in his heart. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun took out all the medicinal herbs and spiritual herbs. Even the 3rd grade spiritual herb, Fire Sunflower Golden Branch, was taken out by Mo Qingyun. This time, he planned to try to refine level 3 pills, Revolving Strength Pill. Revolving Strength Pill was a type of pill with a strong medicinal effect. Not only could it temper the body, it could also increase the speed of condensing inner strength. Seeing that everything was ready, Mo Qingyun started to refine the Revolving Strength Pill. Fire, smelt, purify, fuse, and form the pill. After a few days, a strong pill fragrance spread out from the scarlet flame cauldron. This was a sign that the pill had been successfully refined. The Revolving Strength Pill was complete. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun's face lit up. He opened the cauldron and took out the Revolving Strength Pill. There were 7 pills in total. Each of them was level 3 middle. 7 middle 3rd grade. Looking at the Revolving Strength Pill in his hand, Mo Qingyun faintly smiled. He was quite satisfied with this harvest. The grade is a bit lacking, but it's still passable. Now that the Revolving Strength Pill has been successfully refined, it's time to continue cultivating. Then, Mo Qingyun swallowed a Revolving Strength Pill and continued to cultivate. As soon as the Revolving Strength Pill was swallowed by Mo Qingyun, it dissolved the pure medicinal power and dissipated into Mo Qingyun's body. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately began to refine and absorb the medicinal power. As the Revolving Strength Pill was refined and absorbed, Mo Qingyun's physical strength once again rose under the effects of the Revolving Strength Pill's medicinal efficacy. In addition, he also discovered that there seemed to be a stream of energy flowing out of his body. This was a thin stream of inner strength. Under the effect of the energy revolving pill, his body began to condense inner strength. Although this stream of inner strength was still very weak, it meant that he was now steadily advancing towards body-tempering stage 7. As long as I can condense an inner strength cyclone, I can break through to body-tempering stage 7. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun faintly smiled and began to cultivate even more diligently. One day later, the medicinal power of the energy revolving strength pill was finally completely absorbed by Mo Qingyun. After completely absorbing the medicinal power of the energy revolving strength pill, Emo Qinyun discovered that the inner strength stream in his body had grown a bit stronger. Of course, there was still some distance before it could condense into an inner strength cyclone, but Emo Qinyun was not in a hurry. He believed that after he had refined all 7 revolving strength pills, he should be able to break through to body tempering stage 7. Qinyun, are you there? At this moment, just as Emo Qinyun was about to continue cultivating, a gentle voice came from outside the courtyard. It was Emo Zhao's voice. After hearing this, Emo Qinyun stopped cultivating and responded, walking out of the house. Emo Zhao, are you looking for me? Looking at the graceful girl in front of him, Emo Qinyun was a little surprised and asked, "Can't I look for you if there's nothing?" Hearing Emo Qinyun's words, Emo Zhao pretended to be unhappy and rolled her eyes at him, saying, "I brought you something to eat." Then, Emo Zhao took out a variety of pastries from the food box. The pastries were not bad and looked quite delicious. "Try it," Emo Zhao said shyly as she picked up a pastry and handed it to Emo Qinyun with a slight blush on her face. Looking at her, she seemed a little like a little wife who was cooking for her husband for the first time. However, when Emo Qinyun saw Emo Zhao's expression, he suddenly felt a little guilty. He thought to himself, why is this girl suddenly so nice to me? Could it be that she has taken a liking to me? However, even though he thought so, Emo Qinyun still responded and sat down. He picked up a pastry and tasted it. "How is it? Is it good?" Emo Zhao asked quickly. "Yes, it's delicious." Emo Qinyun smiled and nodded in response. "Then I'll make it for you every day from now on, okay?" Emo Zhao asked happily. No need." Looking at Emo Zhao's expression, Emo Qinyun quickly waved his hand. "Humph. I knew you didn't mean what you said." Emo Zhao pursed her lips and pretended to be unhappy. No, it's just that I'm not used to you being so nice to me all of a sudden." Emo Qinyun quickly explained. Then, he asked doubtfully, "I say, little girl, you're suddenly so nice to me. Could it be that you've taken a liking to me?" After hearing Emo Qinyun's words, Emo Zhao's face suddenly turned red. She said angrily, Bah, I wouldn't take a liking to you. I feel that I took your body-tempering pills last time and made some pastries for you to eat to express my gratitude. That's all, don't think too much, then I'm relieved." Hearing Emo Zhao's words, Emo Qinyun's expression suddenly relaxed and he felt relieved. "Emo Qinyun, what do you mean? Do you feel wrong that I like you?" Looking at Emo Qinyun's expression, Emo Zhao immediately said with displeasure. After hearing Emo Zhao's words, Emo Qinyun rolled his eyes and said with a smile, "Of course not. It's just that we're from the same clan. We can have feelings for each other, right?" After hearing Emo Qinyun's words, Emo Zhao revealed a trace of a sly smile and said, "Qinyun, I have a secret that I haven't told you. In fact, I'm not from the Emo clan. I was adopted. There's no blood relationship between us." "Damn, are you serious?" After hearing Emo Zhao's words, Emo Qinyun's forehead suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. He looked at Emo Qinyun in shock. After seeing Emo Qinyun's expression, Emo Zhao immediately revealed a complacent smile and said, Hee. I'm lying to you. You actually believe this. You want me to like you? Dream on." After rolling her eyes at Emo Qinyun, Emo Zhao said, "I came to find you this time because I need your help with something." "What's the matter?" Emo Qinyun asked. "I found an immortal's cave on Purple Bamboo Mountain. However, there are 2 ironback apes guarding outside the cave. I can't enter." After saying this, Emo Zhao paused, looked at Emo Qinyun and said, "So? I want you to help me deal with those 2 ironback apes. When do we leave?" After hearing Emo Zhao's request, Emo Qinyun agreed without thinking. Now that his cultivation had broken through again, he just wanted to find a place to practice and adapt to his current strength. An adult ironback ape's strength was comparable to a 5th-layer body-tempering realm martial artist. Its strength wasn't very strong. In addition, Ironback apes had strong defense and resistance. They were the most suitable targets. Chapter 29. Purple Bamboo Mountain was located to the west of Baima Town. It was named after the purple bamboo that grew on the mountain. About an hour later, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao arrived at Purple Bamboo Mountain. After arriving at Purple Bamboo Mountain, Mo Qingyun realized that there were many juniors from other families on Purple Bamboo Mountain. After seeing these people, Mo Qingyun revealed a puzzled expression and asked, "Why are there so many people on Purple Bamboo Mountain?" Purple Bamboo Mountain used to be a volcano. The soil on the mountain was formed by underground lava and is extremely fertile. Therefore, it is easy for herbs and spiritual medicine to grow on the mountain. Therefore, many people come here to try their luck and see if they can find some spiritual medicine. In response to Mo Qingyun's doubts, Mo Xiao smiled faintly and explained, "I see." After Mo Xiao's explanation, Mo Qingyun immediately understood. Then, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao walked towards the depths of Purple Bamboo Mountain. Soon, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao arrived at the bottom of a cliff in the depths of Purple Bamboo Mountain. Suddenly, Mo Xiao's face lit up. He pointed at the stone wall in front of him and said excitedly, "It's in front of us. That's the abode I was talking about. Let's go and take a look." Mo Qingyun nodded in response and took the lead to walk forward. Soon after, Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun arrived outside the abode. They sized it up. The abode was not big and could barely accommodate 3 people at the same time. Perhaps it was because no one had lived here for too long, but from the entrance, they could see that the inside of the abode was in a mess. "Be careful, the ironback apes are nearby. They came when I came near last time," Mo Xiao reminded Mo Qingyun when they arrived at the entrance of the abode. "Okay." Hearing this, Mo Qingyun nodded and carefully walked towards the entrance of the cave. Dong dong dong. Just then, as Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao were approaching the abode, a series of hurried footsteps came from not far away. Then, Mo Qingyun saw 2 huge steel-like bodies rushing toward the 2 of them at an extremely fast speed. These 2 tall and strong figures were the ironback apes that Mo Xiao had mentioned. These 2 ironback apes seemed to have darker skin and a stronger aura than normal ironback ape. Mo Qingyun furrowed his brows as he watched the 2 burly men approaching at an extremely fast speed. A wave of surprise rose in his heart. The 2 ironback apes in front of him seemed to be somewhat different from the ironback apes he remembered. After discovering this, a trace of doubt rose in Mo Qingyun's heart. He thought to himself, "These 2 ironback apes seem to have undergone some mutation. Their strength seems to be a little stronger than normal ironback ape. If this is the case, it will be somewhat troublesome to deal with them." Shortly after, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious as he said to Mo Xiao, "Be careful later. The strength of these 2 ironback apes shouldn't be as simple as the 5th layer of body tempering realm." "Yes." Hearing Mo Qingyun's reminder, Mo Xiao nodded with a solemn expression. Chi, seeing the 2 uninvited guests, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao, the 2 ironback apes angrily roared. Then, the ironback apes moved and pounced towards Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao. They raised their large palms and viciously slapped towards Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao. When the 2 ironback apes attacked, they displayed a powerful aura. This was definitely not something that a 5th layer of body tempering realm could possess. Body tempering realm 6th layer. The strength of these 2 ironback apes had already reached the 6th layer of body tempering realm. How is this possible? How did the strength of these 2 ironback apes reach the 6th layer of body tempering realm? The sudden turn of events caused Mo Xiao to involuntarily become absent-minded. In her panic, she even forgot to resist. "Be careful." Seeing this, Mo Qingyun immediately warned Mo Xiao. He executed swift shadow steps and dashed towards Mo Xiao. He raised his hand and grabbed Mo Xiao's slender waist, hugging her and narrowly avoiding the ironback ape's attack. Being hugged by Emo Qingyun, Emo Xiao came back to her senses. Her face flushed red and she panicked and guiltily said, "Qingyun, I'm sorry. I didn't know that the strength of these two ironback apes had already reached the 6th layer of body-tempering realm." Seeing Emo Xiao's guilt-ridden expression, Emo Qingyun faintly smiled and casually said, "Don't worry, just leave the rest to me." "Leave it to you?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Emo Xiao's expression froze. For a moment, she did not understand the meaning of Emo Qingyun's words. However, at this moment, before Emo Xiao could react, Emo Qingyun had already dashed towards the two ironback apes. "Qingyun, don't go over there." Those two ironback apes, seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, Emo Xiao immediately shouted out worriedly. 9 heavy crash. However, before she could finish her words, Emo Qingyun raised his hand and punched out towards one of the ironback ape. Bang! Following which, Emo Xiao saw that the ironback ape was directly sent flying by Emo Qingyun's punch. How is this possible? The ironback ape is at the 6th layer of body-tempering realm. How could it be? After seeing this scene, Emo Xiao was instantly dumbfounded. She felt that her brain was not enough to process this. The ironback ape with the strength of a 6th layer body-tempering realm was actually sent flying by Emo Qingyun's punch. Doesn't this mean that Emo Qingyun is at least at the 6th layer of body-tempering realm? 6th layer of body-tempering realm. Qingyun's cultivation has reached the 6th layer of body-tempering realm. After this thought appeared, Emo Xiao's heart became even more shocked. Her chest heaved up and down continuously. There was also a slight change in the way she looked at Emo Qingyun. It was as if she did not recognize Emo Qingyun. She clearly remembered that in the monthly test more than 10 days ago, Emo Qingyun's cultivation had only just reached the 4th layer of body-tempering realm. Now, in just 10 days, Emo Qingyun's cultivation had actually reached the 6th layer of body-tempering realm. In just 10 days, his cultivation had jumped 2 levels. This kind of cultivation speed was simply too frightening. At this moment, if she had not seen it with her own eyes, she would not have dared to believe it even if she was beaten to death. There was actually someone who could raise his cultivation by 2 levels in just 10 days. This was simply too unbelievable. Bang! At this moment, while Emo Xiao was still in shock, the other ironback ape was also knocked down by Emo Qingyun's fist. Seeing the 2 ironback apes with the strength of a 6th layer body-tempering realm being easily defeated by Emo Qingyun in just a short period of time, Emo Xiao was speechless. For a moment, Emo Xiao didn't know what to say. Looking at the approaching Emo Qingyun, he stammered for a long time before saying, You're really abnormal." Abnormal? After hearing Emo Xiao's words, Emo Qingyun's face instantly became aggrieved. He said gloomily, "No way, I was kind enough to help you get rid of these 2 ironback apes. Is this how you thank me?" Looking at Emo Qingyun's gloomy face, Emo Xiao's charming face turned red. She said somewhat embarrassedly, Who told you to become so strong all of a sudden? I was not mentally prepared at all." "So strong? Not mentally prepared at all?" After pondering over Emo Xiao's words, Emo Qingyun suddenly felt somewhat speechless. These words could easily lead to ambiguity. "Let's go in and take a look." After revealing a trace of a bitter smile, Emo Qingyun did not say much. He said to Emo Xiao and walked into the cave. Chapter 30. As soon as he entered the cave, Emo Qingyun felt a heat wave rushing towards him. What a strong flame! After discovering this, Emo Qingyun frowned as a trace of surprise rose in his heart. Emo Qingyun was a little more curious about the inside of the cave, so he quickened his pace. As he went deeper into the cave, Emo Qingyun felt that the heat wave was getting stronger. Under the attack of the heat wave, Emo Xiao, who was beside him, turned pale. From the looks of it, her resistance to the heat wave should have reached its limit. Seeing this, Emo Qingyun smiled at Emo Xiao and said, "Why don't you leave first and I'll go in and take a look?" Okay. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Xiao did not insist. She nodded and walked out of the cave. Then, Mo Qingyun walked into the cave alone. After a while, Mo Qingyun saw a stone room in the cave. This stone room was very simple. There was only a stone bed, a stone table and a few stone stools. There was a skeleton sitting on the stone bed. It should be the owner of the stone room. Beside the skeleton, there was a cosmos bag and a sword-shaped jade pendant. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun walked over. Tomb. Picking up the jade pendant, Mo Qingyun saw that there was an ancient word, tomb, written on the jade pendant. In addition, after Mo Qingyun picked up the jade pendant, he could clearly feel that there was a strong soul energy fluctuation on the jade pendant. Soul energy fluctuation? After this discovery, Mo Qingyun frowned and guessed, the origin of this small sword jade pendant is not simple. Then, Mo Qingyun carefully observed the small sword jade pendant. After finding that there was nothing strange about it, he stopped studying it and put it away. Then, Mo Qingyun picked up the cosmos bag and opened it to check. Inside the Qinquan bag were some ores and sword embryos. This discovery made Mo Qingyun feel a little disappointed. If he had been an armament master in his previous life, these materials might have been of some help to him. However, these things were not very useful to him now. However, judging from the current situation, the owner of this cave should have been a master craftsman when he was alive. After that, Mo Qingyun searched the stone room again. After finding nothing else, he left the stone room. After walking out of the stone room, Mo Qingyun walked deeper into the cave. That was the source of the heat wave. As Mo Qingyun went deeper into the cave, the heat wave in the cave became even more intense and violent. Under the assault of this heat wave, Mo Qingyun could clearly feel waves of pain coming from his skin. Fortunately, just as he was about to reach his limit, he finally arrived at the bottom of the cave. This was also a stone room. There was a huge furnace placed inside. It should have been used by the owner of the cave to forge weapons when he was alive. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that beside the furnace was a huge lava pool. At this moment, the red lava in the pool was like boiling water. It kept rolling and bubbling. The heat wave in the cave was emitted from this lava pool. This place is very suitable for forging weapons. Looking at the lava pool, Mo Qingyun was impressed by the owner of the cave. He really knew how to choose a place. Forging weapons here was indeed twice the result with half the effort. This is? At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was sighing in his heart, he suddenly realized that there were red crystal-like objects beside the lava pool. Then, Mo Qingyun took a closer look and picked up a red crystal-like object. As soon as the red crystal-like object was in his hand, Mo Qingyun felt a pure flame energy being emitted from it. After feeling the flame energy, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He said in surprise, "This is the Earth Core Flame Crystal. I didn't expect to find such a good thing here." The Earth Core Flame Crystal was similar to the glazed stalactite. They were both spiritual objects of heaven and earth formed after a long time. However, the environment where the Earth Core Flame Crystal was formed was more dangerous. Therefore, the Earth Core Flame Crystal was more precious and rare than the glazed stalactite. Then, without hesitation, Mo Qingyun collected all the Earth Core Flame Crystals in front of him. After a while, the Earth Core Flame Crystals near the lava pool were all collected by Mo Qingyun. There were a total of 23 Earth Core Flame Crystals. Such a harvest made Mo Qingyun ecstatic. With these Earth Core Flame Crystals, he could awaken his Scarlet Flame Dragon martial soul earlier. Then, without hesitation, Mo Qingyun got up and walked out of the cave. Outside the cave, after listening to Mo Qingyun's suggestion, Mo Xiao went back to the cave and waited for Mo Qingyun to come out. At this moment, Mo Xiao was waiting for Mo Qingyun outside the cave. She saw a few young men around the age of 17 or 18 rushing toward her. "Brother Song Chun, the Immortal's cave I told you about is not far ahead." When the young men approached, one of them said, After a while, the young men arrived outside the cave. When they saw Emo Xiao standing outside the cave, the young men were all surprised. Their eyes swept over Emo Xiao. I didn't expect there to be a beauty outside the cave. Looking at Emo Xiao's delicate face and curvaceous body, the young men all smiled lecherously. Seeing their expressions, Emo Xiao's face tensed up. She looked at them with fear and stepped back unconsciously. After seeing Emo Xiao's reaction, the young men became more complacent and their eyes became more unscrupulous. "Little beauty, did you just come out of the cave?" At this moment, one of the young men said to Emo Xiao with a lecherous smile. "What do you want?" Emo Xiao said nervously with a tense expression. "We found this cave long ago. Now that you've entered our cave and stolen our things, what do you think we should do?" The young man said to Emo Xiao with a lecherous smile. "Song Lei, don't scare the little beauty." At this moment, another young man spoke out. "Little beauty, I originally intended to punish you severely for entering my abode and stealing my things, but I don't like to use force. Now I'll give you two choices. First, serve me well and I'll allow you to take away the things you took from my abode. Second, we'll strip off your clothes and take away the things you've stolen. Brother Song Chen and us." Hearing Song Chen's words, the young men said to Song Chen with a covetous look. After hearing their words, Song Chen smiled lecherously and said, "That's right. Let me correct you. Serve us well. You guys are shameless." After hearing Song Chen's words, Emo Xiao's face turned pale, and she pointed at Song Chen and scolded. While Emo Xiao was scolding Song Chen, Emo Qingyun came out of the cave. Seeing Emo Xiao's embarrassed and angry expression, he asked, "Xiao Xiao, what's wrong?" After hearing Emo Qingyun's question, Emo Xiao's face turned red and she was too embarrassed to say anything. Seeing Emo Xiao's expression and the lewd gazes of the people in front of him, with Emo Qingyun's experience, he could naturally guess what was going on. After seeing this, Emo Qingyun said coldly to the young men, "You guys come over here and kowtow to admit your mistakes, then get lost." After hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Song Chen and the young men were surprised by Emo Qingyun's reaction. "What? This brat actually asked us to kowtow to admit our mistakes? Did I hear wrongly? This brat's aura is only at tempered body 6th layer. Does he think that he can deal with us? I think this brat wants to puff himself up at his own cost in front of the little beauty. He wants to suffer for his pride." After being stunned for a moment, Song Chen and the young men's faces were filled with disdain as they sneered. Following which, Song Chen's face darkened as he turned to the few people beside him and said, "Song Lei, the few of you, teach this brat a good lesson. Stomp on his thing until it explodes. I want him to never be able to stand up again in this lifetime." "Got it." After hearing Song Chen's words, Song Lei and the young men immediately responded and walked towards Emo Qingyun with sneers on their faces. "Stomp on my thing?" Chapter 31. Swift shadow steps. Emo Qingyun coldly glanced at Song Lei and the rest before executing the martial technique, swift shadow steps. His body moved, leaving behind an afterimage. Bang! Following which, the crowd saw one of the youths being sent flying by Emo Qingyun's punch. He fell to the ground, half dead. With just one punch, Emo Qingyun defeated a 5th-layer body-tempering realm cultivator. Emo Qingyun's sudden display of strength caused the crowd's expression to change. They did not expect Emo Qingyun's strength to be so strong. Even Emo Xiao was the same. Song Jing, Song Han, Song Hui, you guys attack together. Seeing Emo Qingyun cripple Song Lei with one punch, Song Chen could no longer remain calm and immediately shouted to the other 3 youths. However, just as Song Chen spoke, Emo Qingyun's feet moved like the wind. His body moved again, and he attacked another person. Song Lei and the rest were all 5th-layer body-tempering realm cultivators. Their cultivation was lower than Emo Qingyun's, and their agility was not as good as Emo Qingyun's. Now that Emo Qingyun had executed swift shadow steps, they did not even have time to react before one of them was sent flying by Emo Qingyun, losing his ability to fight. Another fifth-layer body-tempering realm cultivator was crippled. Moreover, it was unknown whether Emo Qingyun did it intentionally or not, but this time, his foot just happened to land on that person's lower body. At this moment, the crowd seemed to hear the sound of an eggshell cracking. The sound was so crisp and my lower body hurts. At this moment, the remaining two, Song Han and Song Hui, unconsciously clamped their thighs together, afraid that they would be the next one to be kicked. After witnessing this scene, Emo Zhao's face turned red. She shyly turned her head and said, "Pervert." Emo Qingyun did not pay attention to Song Han and Song Hui's reactions. His body moved again, and he attacked Song Han. Emo Qingyun thought to himself, there were too many people on Song Chen's side, and Song Chen's cultivation was at the 7th stage body-tempering realm. If he didn't make the first move and get rid of the other party's small fries, it would be more troublesome when he faced Song Chen. Seeing Emo Qingyun attack Song Han, Song Chen seemed to have guessed Emo Qingyun's intentions. He hurriedly warned Song Han, be careful. As Song Chen reminded them, he also walked towards Emo Qingyun, intending to stop Emo Qingyun's actions. Bang! However, he was still a step too late. Just as he moved, Emo Qingyun sent Song Han flying with a kick again. It was the same footwork, the same position, and the same move. Emo Qingyun kicked out and Song Han was sent flying, landing heavily on the ground. After taking Emo Qingyun's kick, Song Han curled up on the ground, covering his crotch. His face was contorted in pain, and he could not get up for a long time. Seeing that 3 of his men had been taken care of in such a short period of time, Song Chen's face was extremely ugly. He looked at Emo Qingyun and said coldly, "Kid, your strength surprised me. However, your actions will only enrage me. I'll make sure you die a horrible death later. Song Hui, you deal with that woman. Leave this kid to me." Song Chen ordered the last young man. "Yes, brother Song Chen." Song Hui nodded and dashed towards Emo Xiao, summoning his martial spirit. Judging from Song Hui's actions, they did not dare to be careless at this point. After Song Hui summoned his martial soul, a huge black figure appeared above him. It was Song Hui's martial soul, a 6th-grade golden-eyed black bear martial soul. After seeing Song Hui's martial soul, Emo Zhao's expression relaxed. At this moment, she only had to face Song Hui alone. Song Hui's cultivation was the same as hers, at the 5th-grade body-tempering realm. Her 7th-grade martial soul, Top Rain Crane, was 1 grade higher than Song Hui's 6th-grade golden-eyed black bear martial soul. If that was the case, she would have the upper hand in the upcoming battle. In comparison, Emo Qingyun was under more pressure. After all, Emo Qingyun's opponent was Song Chen, who was at the 7th-grade body-tempering realm. A 7th-grade body-tempering realm cultivator could produce inner strength in his body. This was a qualitative leap. Therefore, it would be difficult for Emo Qingyun to defeat Song Chen. "Qingyun, you have to be careful," Emo Xiao said to Emo Qingyun with concern. "Don't worry, I'm confident in defeating this guy." Hearing Emo Zhao's words of concern, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly, indicating that she did not need to worry. "Kid, you seem to be overconfident. I'll let you know the power of a 7th-grade body-tempering realm cultivator." Seeing that Emo Qingyun did not take him seriously, Song Chen's expression turned colder. He raised his hand and punched towards Emo Qingyun. Hungry tiger pounces. As soon as Song Chen attacked, he leaped forward like a hungry tiger pouncing on its prey. His hands formed into claws, and viciously tore at Emo Qingyun. Seeing this, Emo Qingyun did not dare to be careless. He executed the 9-stage crash, and raised his hand to meet Song Chen's attack. 9-stage crash. Emo Qingyun raised his hand and punched out. He exerted his 6th-grade body-tempering realm cultivation to the maximum, not daring to hold back. Although he was a reincarnated supreme being, he did not dare to be careless or hold back at this moment. After all, he was not only doing this to protect himself, but also to defeat Song Chen. Only then would he be able to escape with Mo Xiao. If it was just to escape, Mo Qingyun would not be worried even if he was facing a 9th-grade body-tempering realm cultivator. However, if he wanted to defeat Song Chen head-on, even though Song Chen was only at the 7th-grade body-tempering realm, he would still be under a lot of pressure. Bang! When Mo Qingyun and Song Chen collided, a loud sound immediately rang out, following which Mo Qingyun and Song Chen's bodies rapidly retreated. Not bad. Seeing that his all-out attack did not manage to take down Mo Qingyun, Song Chen's expression turned colder. He said coldly, "Since you've forced me to this point, you should die with honor. Sword Qilin Tiger Martial Spirit, come out." Under Song Chen's loud shout, a huge cyan tiger shadow appeared above him, exuding a powerful aura. This was the 8th-grade martial spirit, the Sword Qilin Tiger Martial Spirit. Lin Fan did not expect Song Chen's martial spirit to be so powerful. As soon as the Sword Qilin Tiger Martial Spirit appeared, it immediately released a surge of soul power onto Song Chen's body. Under the effect of the soul power, Song Chen's aura instantly rose to the level of a body-tempering realm cultivator. After feeling the power of his martial spirit, a cruel smile appeared on Song Chen's face. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said coldly, "Brat, prepare to die." After feeling the powerful aura from Song Chen, Mo Zhao's face turned pale and he panicked. He shouted at Mo Qingyun, "Qingyun, leave now. Don't worry about me." Is the Sword Qilin Tiger Martial Spirit very powerful? While Mo Xiao was worried, Mo Qingyun looked at Song Chen's Sword Qilin Tiger Martial Spirit and replied disdainfully. Following which, Mo Qingyun revealed a proud look and summoned his martial spirit. "Scarlet Flame Dragon, come out!" As soon as Mo Qingyun finished his words, a huge scarlet figure appeared above him. It was a scarlet dragon shadow that was a few meters long. As soon as the scarlet dragon shadow appeared, it attacked the Sword Qilin Tiger Martial Spirit and swallowed it. Swallowed. Song Chen's Sword Qilin Tiger Martial Spirit was swallowed by the scarlet dragon shadow. How is this possible? Mo Xiao and the other two were stunned when they saw this scene. What they had just witnessed had already exceeded their understanding of martial souls. How could a martial spirit be swallowed? Am I seeing things? Song Chen's martial spirit was swallowed? Looking at the imposing red dragon shadow, Mo Zhao's face was filled with shock. His chest heaved up and down as he could not believe what he was seeing. Is that scarlet dragon shadow Qin Yun's martial spirit? At this moment, Mo Xiao found it hard to believe that Mo Qingyun, who was called trash by the Mo family, only had a grade 1 martial spirit. His martial spirit was so powerful and domineering after it was released. If the elders of the Mo clan were to see this scene, they would definitely be shocked. Qin Yun's martial spirit is so powerful. Recalling the Scarlet Flame Dragon martial spirit's performance, Mo Xiao was excited and clenched his fists. Dragon Clan Martial Spirit. This kid's martial spirit is actually a Dragon Clan martial spirit. After seeing Mo Qingyun's martial spirit, not only Mo Xiao, but Song Chen and Song Hui were also in disbelief. The Dragon Clan martial spirit was one of the most powerful martial spirits in the Heavenly Soul continent. Even the weakest inferior Dragon Clan martial spirit was at least a grade 9 martial spirit. Mo Qingyun's Scarlet Flame Dragon martial spirit was obviously not an inferior Dragon Clan martial spirit. In this case, Mo Qingyun's martial spirit was at least a grade 10 martial spirit. It might even be a superior grade 10 martial spirit. Puff. Martial spirits were the foundation of a martial artist. After the Sword Qilin Tiger martial spirit was swallowed, Song Chen spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. Chapter 32. Kid, you better not cross the line. I am a direct descendant of the Song clan. My elder brother is the #1 genius of the Song clan, Song Ziheo. Seeing Emo Qinyun coming closer, Song Chen said in fear, "If you dare to touch me, the Song clan and my elder brother will not let you go." Direct descendant of the Song clan? Song Ziheo's younger brother? After hearing Song Ziheo's words, Emo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He was surprised by Song Chen's identity. However, this made him more determined to kill Song Chen and the others. He said with a playful smile, "Are you threatening me?" Originally, after Emo Qinyun summoned his martial spirit, he did not plan to keep Song Chen and the others alive. Currently, he did not want others to know about his Scarlet Flame Dragon martial spirit. Therefore, Song Chen and the others could not be kept alive. But now, Emo Qinyun knew that Song Chen was Song Ziheo's younger brother. Naturally, he could not keep them alive. Song Chen naturally did not know about Emo Qinyun's thoughts. After seeing Emo Qinyun's reaction, Song Chen thought that Emo Qinyun was frightened by his identity. "Are you afraid now?" Following which, a pleased expression appeared on Song Chen's face as he said, "Brat, I can see that your potential is not bad. If you kowtow to me now and admit your mistake, give me that woman to enjoy, and swear that you will be my Song family's servant from now on, I can recommend you to my big brother." At that moment, while Song Chen spoke with a complacent expression, Emo Qinyun revealed an impatient expression. He directly ordered the Scarlet Flame Dragon martial spirit to spit out a Scarlet Flame Dragon breath towards Song Chen. "Kid, you," seeing Emo Qinyun's action, Song Chen's expression changed. He was shocked by Emo Qinyun's action. He did not expect that Emo Qinyun would still dare to attack him after knowing his identity. Under the Scarlet Flame Dragon martial spirit's dragon breath, Song Chen did not even have time to react before he was burned to ashes. You killed brother Song Chen." Song Hui exclaimed in horror when he saw that Song Chen had been reduced to ashes by the dragon breath. However, before he could finish speaking, Emo Qinyun made the Scarlet Flame Heavenly Dragon spit out a mouthful of dragon breath at him. Following that, Song Hui followed in Song Chen's footsteps and was reduced to ashes by the dragon's breath. After that, Emo Qinyun made the Scarlet Flame Heavenly Dragon spit out dragon breath, burning Song Lei and Song Zheng to ashes. After doing all this, Emo Qinyun called back the Flaming Red Dragon martial spirit and walked towards Emo Xiao, who was stunned on the spot. Xiao, let's go." Emo Qinyun came to Emo Zhao's side and said with a faint smile. Hearing Emo Qinyun's words, Emo Xiao quivered. He looked at Emo Qinyun in awe and nodded. At this moment, the feeling that Emo Qinyun gave her seemed to have suddenly become unfamiliar. The Emo Qinyun in front of her was too different from the Emo Qinyun in her impression. In his impression, Emo Qinyun's martial soul should be the kind that was dispensable. However, Emo Qinyun's martial soul had already reached a freakish level. Devouring other people's martial spirits and burning them to ashes with dragon breath, was this still a martial spirit? Could a martial spirit be used like this? Even a powerful demonic dragon would not be able to do this. Emo Qinyun's current performance had completely shattered her understanding of martial spirit. Seeing Emo Zhao's expression, Emo Qinyun quickly guessed what she was thinking. She must be shocked by his Scarlet Flame Heavenly Dragon martial spirit. Seeing this, Emo Qinyun smiled and said, Xiao, about my martial spirit, I hope you can keep it a secret for me." "Okay. I won't tell anyone." Emo Xiao nodded in agreement. Hearing Emo Qinyun mention his martial spirit, Emo Xiao was confused and asked, "Qinyun, isn't your martial spirit a grade 1 illumination martial spirit?" Emo Qinyun did not answer Emo Zhao's question directly. Instead, he summoned his 2 martial spirit. Then, a light shadow appeared on each of Emo Qinyun's hands. A scarlet dragon shadow and a white light door. Seeing the 2 light shadows, Emo Zhao's expression changed and she exclaimed, "Twin martial spirits." Emo Qingyun's martial spirits were actually twin martial spirit. Moreover, one of them was a powerful dragon martial spirit. After this discovery, Emo Zhao's heart was in turmoil. She stared at Emo Qingyun with her eyes wide open. She couldn't help thinking that no one in the Emo clan would have thought that Emo Qingyun actually had twin martial spirit. Phew! After a while, Emo Zhao exhaled deeply and calmed her excited heart. She really did not expect that the trash of the Emo clan was the real #1 genius of the Emo clan. She was sure that Emo Qingyun's Scarlet Dragon martial spirit was actually more powerful than Emo Tsang's Grade 10 Nether Tiger martial spirit. Then Emo Qingyun's Dragon martial spirit was a superior grade martial spirit. Emo Qingyun actually had a superior grade martial spirit. After this discovery, Emo Zhao was shocked to the point of dizziness. This result was too unexpected and too sudden for her. But if this is the case with Emo Qingyun's talent, how could his cultivation progress be so slow? Emo Zhao's heart was filled with doubt and confusion. However, Emo Zhao's eyes lit up as she thought of a possibility. This should be Emo Qingyun's deliberate act. He was enduring hardships, enduring humiliation, waiting for the day when he would amaze the world with a single brilliant feat. Now, it seemed that Emo Qingyun had done it. In the last monthly test, Emo Qingyun's outstanding talent had already attracted the attention of the elders in the Emo clan. Emo Zhao was sure that in the next monthly test, Emo Qingyun would definitely surprise everyone and shock everyone. "Qingyun, what's your current cultivation level?" Emo Zhao asked Emo Qingyun with a curious look on his face. "I just broke through to body tempering stage 6. In response to Emo Qingyun's question, Emo Qingyun did not hide anything and answered truthfully. Body tempering stage 6. Although she had already guessed Emo Qingyun's cultivation level, hearing Emo Qingyun admit it still shocked her. Emo Qingyun's breakthrough was different from hers. In the last monthly test, her cultivation was already at the peak of body tempering stage 4. She only needed an opportunity to break through to body tempering stage 5. Emo Qingyun, on the other hand, had just broken through to body tempering stage 4 during the last monthly test. Now, in just over 10 days, Emo Qingyun's cultivation had broken through 2 levels consecutively, reaching body tempering stage 6. This kind of cultivation speed is a little too frightening. Hiss! Thinking of this, Emo Zhao could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. She looked at Emo Qingyun with a strange expression. Seeing Emo Zhao's reaction, Emo Qingyun felt a little helpless, but he did not explain anything. He only smiled faintly and said, "Let's go back." "Okay." Emo Zhao nodded and followed Emo Qingyun back to the Emo clan. After returning to the Emo clan, Emo Qingyun told Emo Zhao about the situation in the cave. He was going to give some of the earth core flame crystals he obtained from the cave to Emo Zhao. However, Emo Zhao rejected Emo Qingyun's decision, saying that Emo Qingyun's Scarlet Flame Heavenly Dragon martial spirit was more effective in absorbing the earth core flame crystals. Seeing Emo Zhao's rejection, Emo Qingyun did not insist. He thought to himself, giving the earth core flame crystals to Emo Zhao is indeed not very useful. I'll refine some pills for her another day. After thinking of this, Emo Qingyun gave the remaining body tempering pills to Emo Zhao. Seeing Emo Qingyun give the body tempering pills to her, Emo Zhao did not reject this time and happily accepted them. Chapter 33. In the small courtyard, Emo Qingyun sat cross-legged, restrained his mind, and immersed himself in cultivation. At this moment, the Scarlet Flame Dragon martial soul was summoned. It was like a baby sucking breast milk, absorbing the earth core flame crystal in his hand. Under the Scarlet Flame Dragon martial soul's crazy absorption, the earth core flame crystal shrunk at a speed visible to the naked eye. Half a day later, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul had absorbed a piece of the Earth Core Flame Crystal. After absorbing a piece of the Earth Core Flame Crystal, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul's color had deepened significantly. Apart from that, its body had also expanded slightly, and its aura had become stronger. Of course, in the process of the Crimson Flame Heavenly Dragon absorbing the geocentric flame crystal, Mo Qingyun also obtained considerable benefit. After the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul had absorbed a piece of the Earth Core Flame Crystal, his cultivation had increased significantly, and his physical strength had also increased. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately took out another piece of the Earth Core Flame Crystal for the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul to absorb. 3 days later, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul had absorbed 5 pieces of the Earth Core Flame Crystal. At this moment, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul's color had deepened, and its body had grown from 5 meters long to 7 meters long. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had also reached the peak of early-stage body-tempering realm LV6. 7 days later, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul had absorbed 12 pieces of the Earth Core Flame Crystal. The Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul's body had grown from 7 meters to 9 meters long. Mo Qingyun's cultivation had also reached the peak of mid-stage body-tempering realm LV6 from early-stage body-tempering realm LV6. 13 days later, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul had absorbed all 23 pieces of the Earth Core Flame Crystal on Mo Qingyun's body. At this moment, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul's body had grown to 12 meters long, and its aura was comparable to a true Qi realm expert. Mo Qingyun's cultivation had also reached the peak of late-stage body-tempering realm LV6, and was half a step away from body-tempering realm LV7. On the other hand, Mo Qingyun's physical strength had reached a terrifying level. Even if he were to be compared to someone at the 8th layer body-tempering realm, he would not be outdone. Currently, Mo Qingyun's body was filled with streams of inner force. It was only a matter of time before he broke through to the 7th layer body-tempering realm. Body-tempering stage 6 peak. After sensing his cultivation base, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile. Even though he did not break through to body-tempering stage 7 immediately, his current strength was enough for him to participate in the monthly test tomorrow. Seeing that tomorrow was the monthly test, Mo Qingyun decided not to continue cultivating. He wanted to take advantage of this time to cultivate the martial skills, swift shadow steps, and 9-stage collapse, so that he could quickly adapt to his current cultivation. In the following period of time, Mo Qingyun practiced the martial skill over and over again without getting tired of it. The night passed in silence. The next day, the sun had just risen. Mo Qingyun heard a burst of laughter coming from outside the small courtyard. It was the sound of several young girls talking. This meant that Mo Xiao and Mo Xian had arrived. Immediately, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and stood up to open the door for them. "Qingyun, take a guess. Who do you think we brought?" Seeing Mo Qingyun open the door, Mo Xiao and Mo Xian put on a mysterious smile and asked Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun was stunned at first, then replied with a blank expression, "I can't guess." Hearing Mo Qingyun's reply, Mo Xian and Mo Xian were disappointed. They rolled their eyes at Mo Qingyun and said, "You don't know how to cooperate at all. Look, who's here?" Mo Xian and Mo Xiao moved to the side, revealing the figure behind them. Then, Mo Qingyun saw a familiar face. This was a young girl whose looks were comparable to Mo Xian and Mo Xian's. This young girl was also Mo Qingyun's cousin, the daughter of Mo Qingyun's second aunt, Mo Ling. At this moment, Mo Ling's face was flushed red and there was a trace of fragrant sweat between her eyebrows. Her breathing was weak. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun unconsciously frowned and looked at Mo Ling a few more times. With one look, Mo Qingyun was shocked. The prairie fire phoenix physique, It's actually the 11th among the 3,000 special physiques, the Prairie Fire Phoenix physique. He really did not expect Mo Ling's physique to be the Prairie Fire Phoenix physique. No wonder Mo Ling was acting like this. The 3,000 special physiques were the 3,000 extremely powerful special physique. They all had one common characteristic. That was, they must awaken the power of their bloodline in order to display their power. Otherwise, not only would they not be able to display the power of the special physique, they would be tortured to death by it. Obviously, Mo Ling was suffering from the Prairie Fire Phoenix physique at this moment. Sister Mo Ling, so it's you. Mo Qingyun was shocked at first, then smiled and said to the young girl, "Come in and have a seat." "Brat, why are you so polite to Sister Mo Ling? Is it because Sister Mo Ling is prettier than us?" Seeing Mo Qingyun's behavior, Mo Xian pretended to be unhappy and glared at Mo Qingyun slyly. After hearing Mo Xian's words, Mo Qingyun was speechless. He smiled bitterly and said, "Sister Mo Xian, you've wronged me." "Haha, Sister Mo Xian, don't tease Qingyun. He saw that my physique is not good and wants me to sit in the room and rest." Mo Ling smiled sweetly and spoke for Mo Qingyun. Hearing Mo Ling's words, Mo Xian felt helpless and said, "Sister Mo Ling, you're still so protective of him. Aren't you the same?" Mo Ling unconsciously replied. Hearing Mo Ling's words, Mo Xian was suddenly at a loss for words. She stammered guiltily, I saw him being beaten so badly by others that I couldn't stand it. I'm not protecting this brat." "Haha, is that so?" Mo Ling smiled playfully and asked. Under Mo Ling's gaze, Mo Xian immediately felt unnatural and even more guilty. She changed the topic and said, "Brat, second aunt asked us to bring this to you. Everyone is so biased. The first person they think of when they come back is you." Then, Mo Xian handed a brocade box to Mo Qingyun. After Mo Qingyun opened it, he found a new set of clothes inside. "Quickly change and let us see." After seeing the clothes in the brocade box, Mo Xian and the other two girls were curious and urged Mo Qingyun to get up and change. Then, under their gaze, Mo Qingyun returned to the room and changed into the new clothes. "Not bad, not bad. You look so handsome in these clothes." After a while, seeing Mo Qingyun come out, the girls nodded with satisfaction. "Sister Xian, Sister Ling, the monthly test is about to begin. Let's go to the martial arts practice field." Mo Xiao looked at the time and reminded the two girls. Then, Mo Qingyun and the other three got up and walked towards the martial arts practice field. Mo Qingyun looked at Mo Ling in front of him and revealed a thoughtful expression. He was considering whether or not to lessen Mo Ling's pain. Although he could not awaken the bloodline power in Mo Ling's body, he could ease her pain. After thinking for a while, Mo Qingyun decided not to say it for the time being. Chapter 34. Have you guys heard? Mo Hai has come out of Huifeng Valley, and he has broken through to Body Tempering Realm Stage 6. A month ago, he was only at Body Tempering Realm Stage 5. Now, he has broken through to Body Tempering Realm Stage 5 in a month. Mo Hai is so amazing. Mo Hai had a fortuitous encounter. Not only did he break through, but his martial skills have also improved tremendously. On the way to the training field, Mo Qingyun and the rest overheard the conversations of the younger generation. "Brat, Mo Hai has been in the limelight recently. You have to be careful when you meet him." Mo Xian reminded Mo Qingyun when she heard the crowd's words. Mo Zhao's expression changed when she heard Mo Xian's words. She looked at Mo Qingyun playfully. She knew Mo Qingyun's true strength very well. Mo Hai, who was at Body Tempering Realm Stage 6, was no match for him. However, Mo Xiao did not say anything. She only winked at Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun smiled helplessly when he saw Mo Zhao's reaction. He then turned to Mo Xian and said, "Sister Mo Xian, don't worry. I'm confident that I can defeat Mo High. Is that so? Looks like you're very confident. Mo Xian and Mo Ling's eyes lit up when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They exclaimed in surprise. Just when Mo Qingyun was about to speak, a few annoying figures walked towards them. These figures were none other than Mo High and a few of his lackeys. Mo Qingyun, you sure talk big. Are you confident that you can defeat me? Are you kidding me? Mo High said disdainfully when he arrived in front of Mo Qingyun. Clearly, he had heard what Mo Qingyun said just now. Mo Xian's face darkened when she saw Mo High's arrogant attitude. She rolled up her sleeves and said, Mo High, I think you're looking for a beating. Seeing Mo Xian's stance, Mo High's expression immediately twitched. With a face full of terror, he said, Mo Xian, you don't go overboard. My big brother is nearby. In the past, because Mo High had bullied Mo Qingyun, he had been beaten up by Mo Xian many times. Mo Xian had already cast a shadow in his heart. He knew very well that under Mo Xian's gentle and quiet appearance, there was a fierce and tough personality hidden within. Mo Xian, what's the point of bullying my little brother? If you have the ability, then spar with me during the year-end competition. Just as Mo High was panicking, an indifferent voice rang out from behind him. The person who said this was naturally Mo High's elder brother, Mo Tsang. Seeing Mo Tsang arrive, Mo High immediately revealed a look of pleasant surprise and said with a smile, Big brother, you're here. Mo Tsang's appearance boosted Mo High's confidence. He looked at Mo Xian and said with a smile, Mo Xian, I'll tell you the truth. My brother's cultivation has already broken through to the 10th layer body tempering realm. You'll be defeated by him at the family competition at the end of the year. 10th layer body tempering realm. Mo Tsang's cultivation had actually broken through to the 10th layer body tempering realm. Hearing Mo High's words, the surrounding people's expressions changed. They looked at Mo Tsang with reverence in their eyes. So your cultivation has broken through to the 10th layer body tempering realm. No wonder you're so arrogant, Mo Tsang. Mo Xian's heart was also shocked by Mo Tsang's breakthrough. She looked at Mo Tsang with more caution. Mo Tsang's martial soul was stronger than hers. If they fought at the same level, she would still be at a disadvantage. Therefore, it would be extremely difficult for her to defeat Mo Tsang at the year-end competition. I'm not arrogant, but I can still teach a few arrogant people a lesson. Mo Tsang's face was cold. After replying to Mo Xian, he looked at Mo Qingyun and said with a smile, The monthly test is about to begin. I'd like to see how you're going to cripple my little brother later. Mo Tsang's words were undoubtedly full of confidence in Mo High's strength. However, it wasn't surprising that Mo Tsang thought this way. After all, Mo Qingyun's cultivation was only at the 4th layer body tempering realm in the previous monthly test. Furthermore, the reason why he was able to break through to the 6th layer body tempering realm was because he had a fortuitous encounter in the past month. Mo Tsang didn't believe that Mo Qingyun would have such a fortuitous encounter. Therefore, in Mo Tsang's opinion, even if Mo Qingyun's cultivation had improved in the past month, it wouldn't be too big. He wouldn't be able to pose a threat to Mo High. Since you want to see Mo High crippled, I'll fulfill your wish later. Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a mischievous smile in response to Mo Tsang's words. Humph. You have quite a big mouth, but it's useless to argue. Mo Tsang didn't take Mo Qingyun's words to heart. Of course, he didn't believe that Mo Qingyun, who was at the 6th layer body tempering realm, wouldn't be a match for Mo Qingyun. Brother Mo Tsang, I think this kid is just being shameless. He won't say that when brother Mo High beats him up later. I think that this kid isn't even at the 5th layer body tempering realm. If that's the case, he won't have to participate in the Elite Junior monthly test. That means that he won't have to face Brother High in the monthly test and won't be beaten up by him. He must be thinking that way. I was wondering why he was so pretentious. So he's not even at the 5th layer body tempering realm. At this moment, one of Mo Hai's lackeys was fawning over Mo Tsang. Hearing his lackey's words, Mo Hai looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. He sneered. Mo Qingyun, so you're not even at the 5th layer body tempering realm. Looks like I've overestimated you. You're not fit to be my opponent. Not even at the 5th layer body tempering realm? After hearing Mo Hai's words, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao revealed a mischievous smile. They really admired Mo Hai's group for having such thoughts. It must have been hard on them. However, Mo Qingyun didn't point it out. He only looked at Mo Hai with a faint smile and said, "You're right. You're indeed not fit to be my opponent. Big sister Mo Xian Qingyun, let's not argue with him. Let's go to the martial arts practice field first." Mo Ling looked at Mo Hai and the others in annoyance as he tried to persuade Mo Qingyun when he saw Mo Qingyun and the others arguing with each other. Okay. Hearing Mo Ling's words, Mo Qingyun didn't want to waste time with Mo Hai and the rest. He stood up and walked towards the martial arts practice field. Not long after, Mo Qingyun and the rest arrived at the martial arts practice field. After arriving at the martial arts practice field, Mo Qingyun quickly saw Mo Feipeng and Mo Yueru at the judging panel. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun and the rest walked over and greeted. "Eldest uncle, second aunt. We haven't seen each other for a few months and Qingyun has already grown so tall. Do these clothes fit you well?" Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Mo Yueru looked at Mo Qingyun with a doting expression and smiled. Then, Mo Yueru saw Mo Xiao beside Mo Qingyun and her face was also filled with love. She said, "This must be Xiao Xiao. The little girl has also grown up to be natural and unrestrained." "Second aunt. You're making me feel a little embarrassed." Hearing Mo Yueru's words, Mo Xiao's pretty face instantly turned red. Like Mo Qingyun and the rest, she called Mo Yueru second aunt. Haha. Seeing Mo Xiao's reaction, Mo Qingyun and the rest laughed. Then, Mo Feipeng saw Mo Ling beside Mo Qingyun and the rest, and said to Mo Xian, "Go get a stool for Ling to sit down." "Yes, father." Mo Xian nodded and went to get a stool for Mo Ling to sit down. After Mo Ling sat down, Mo Feipeng said to Mo Qingyun, "Qingyun, Xiao Xiao, in the Elite Junior Monthly Test later, don't be arrogant. If you can't beat them, just admit defeat. After all, this monthly test is just a formality." After hearing Mo Feipeng's words, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao smiled bitterly, not knowing what to say. Of course, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao smiled bitterly for different reasons. Mo Qingyun smiled bitterly because Mo Feipeng had no confidence in him at all. Mo Xiao smiled bitterly because Mo Feipeng didn't know Mo Qingyun's true strength. While Mo Qingyun and Mo Xiao were smiling bitterly, Mo Feipeng said, "Especially you, Qingyun. I heard that you have a grudge with Mo Hai. Rumor has it that he has broken through to body tempering stage 6. When you meet him later, just admit defeat. Don't let your emotions affect your decisions. Do you understand?" When he heard Mo Feipeng's words, the bitter smile on Mo Qingyun's face deepened. "Uncle, you don't have much confidence in me," he said gloomily. "That's right, big brother. The test hasn't even started yet. How can you destroy Qingyun's fighting spirit?" After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Yueru rolled her eyes at Mo Feipeng. Then, she said to Mo Qingyun, "However, your uncle is right. When you fight later, don't be reckless. If you meet someone who is at body tempering stage 6, just admit defeat to avoid getting injured." When they heard Mo Yueru, black lines appeared on the foreheads of Mo Qingyun and the others, and they were speechless to the extreme. Chapter 35. Eldest Uncle, Why Don't I See Fourth Uncle? Mo Qingyun asked Mo Feipeng when he noticed that Mo Feilin was nowhere to be seen. Fourth Uncle said that he had some matters to attend to in the Greenwood trading firm, so he returned to Lianyun City a few days ago. Mo Feipeng chuckled. Hearing Mo Feipeng's reply, Mo Qingyun revealed a playful smile. He thought to himself, fourth uncle's return to Lianyun City probably isn't just because of the Greenwood trading firm. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, Wu Rou was the reason why Mo Feilin was in such a hurry to return. Of course, Mo Qingyun would not say this out loud. After that, Mo Qingyun, Mo Feipeng, and the rest chatted for a while. Then, it was time to draw lots to determine their opponent. Now, let's draw lots to determine your opponents. At this moment, an elder walked out from the judging panel and announced in a deep voice. After hearing the elder's words, Mo Qingyun and the rest walked up to draw lots to determine their opponents. Number 1. Looking at the number that he had drawn, Mo Qingyun was slightly stunned. He was a little surprised. He did not expect that he would draw number 1 and be the first to fight. Then, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and walked towards the number 1 battle arena. However, what surprised Mo Qingyun was that his opponent was Mo Hai. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. Oh no, Qingyun's opponent is Mo Hai. Seeing that Mo Qingyun's opponent was Mo Hai, Mo Feipeng and the rest at the judging panel were worried. The scene that they were most worried about had happened. In their opinion, with Mo Hai's current cultivation of body tempering stage 6, Mo Qingyun was definitely not his opponent. Mo Qingyun and Mo Hai had a grudge against each other. When they fought later, Mo Hai would definitely not go easy on Mo Qingyun. At this thought, an anxious expression surfaced on Mo Feipeng's face as he shouted towards Mo Qingyun. Qingyun, Mo Hai is now at tempered body 6th layer. He is not someone you can match up against. Just admit defeat and don't fight with him. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hai immediately revealed a pleased expression. He looked at Mo Qingyun and sneered. Mo Qingyun, it seems that no one believes that you can defeat me. Just because no one believes it doesn't mean that I can't defeat you. Mo Qingyun responded calmly to Mo Hai's smugness. At the same time, Mo Qingyun also smiled faintly at Mo Feipeng and the others, telling them not to worry. However, when Mo Feipeng and the rest saw Mo Qingyun's expression, they became even more worried. Qingyun is too stubborn. I clearly told him not to fight with Mo Hai. Why didn't he listen? Mo Hai said anxiously and worriedly. Upon hearing Mo Feipeng's words, Mo Yuru and the rest became even more worried. Compared to the hearts of Mo Feipeng and the others, the surrounding people all revealed looks of curiosity. During the monthly examination last month, Mo Hai was beaten up like a dead dog by Mo Qingyun. His limbs were all broken. Now that a month had passed, Mo Hai had a fortuitous encounter and his cultivation had greatly improved. Would he be able to avenge himself this time? With this thought in mind, the surrounding people were all filled with anticipation, waiting for the battle between Mo Qingyun and Mo Hai. In the number 1 arena. I really don't know where your confidence comes from. Looking at the confident Mo Qingyun, Mo Hai smiled nonchalantly. He sneered and said, however, this is also good. I was really worried that you would directly admit defeat later, giving me no chance to make a move. I wouldn't be able to cripple your arms and legs and make you a cripple forever. Now I'll show you my true strength. After Mo Hai finished speaking, his face darkened. He clenched his fists tightly and released the aura of a body tempering stage 6. If one looked closely, they would be able to see that there was a trace of internal force circulating around Mo Hai's fist. That's internal force. Mo Hai actually managed to condense a trace of internal force. Mo Qingyun is doomed. With his current strength, he already has the qualifications to compete for the top 10 spots in the monthly examination. Some of the people who realized that Mo Qingyun had condensed internal force started to worry for Mo Qingyun. Oh no, Mo Hai has already condensed internal force. Seeing that Mo Hai had condensed internal force, Mo Faping immediately stood up and prepared to head to the arena to stop the battle between Mo Qingyun and Mo Hai. However, just as Mo Faping was about to move, a middle-aged man beside Mo Tsang sneered. "Cousin Faping, the elders are not allowed to interfere in the monthly examination." Then, Mo Faping's path was blocked by the man who spoke. Seeing that his path was blocked, Mo Faping's face darkened. He angrily said, "Mo Zhirong, don't go overboard. Don't involve the younger generation in the conflict between us elders." "Am I going overboard? I'm just upholding the family rules," Mo Zhirong casually replied to Mo Faping's words. He then sneered, "Mo Faping, let me remind you again. Ignoring the family rules will result in punishment. Even if you are the family head's son, you will not be spared." Hearing Mo Zhirong's words, Mo Faping was furious. He didn't know how to refute Mo Zhirong. "Big brother, forget it. There's no point in arguing with him." Seeing Mo Faping's expression, Mo Yueru tugged at Mo Faping's clothes and consoled him. Mo Faping sat down and glared angrily at Mo Zhirong. He calmed down a little. He knew that Mo Zhirong and the other elders had been looking for something to use against them. He couldn't let them succeed. Immediately, Mo Faping stopped confronting Mo Zhirong and turned his head to look at the arena. "Mo Qingyun, now you know how big the gap between us is." At this moment, under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Mo Hai finally made his move. Mountain-shattering palm, Mo Hai struck out with his palm. The energy in his palm surged and emitted a shocking aura. Under his palm, the air seemed to be on the verge of exploding. It emitted a low sound like a landslide. Mo Hai's palm is so powerful. His mountain-shattering palm seems to have reached the level of greater mastery. Seeing the power of Mo Hai's attack, the crowd's expression changed and they all exclaimed in shock. However, while everyone was shocked by Mo Hai's strength, Mo Qingyun said disdainfully, "Is this your true strength?" Although Mo Hai's current strength wasn't weak, in Mo Qingyun's eyes, it was still not enough. His current physical strength was already comparable to a martial artist at body tempering stage 8. With the power of Mo Hai's palm, even if he stood there and let Mo Hai hit him, he would still be fine. Too weak. Mo Qingyun shook his head with a disappointed expression on his face. "Shameless boasting. Watch me beat you up like a dead dog." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hai's face darkened and he gritted his teeth. Then, Mo Hai directly hit Mo Qingyun's chest with his palm. Seeing that he had hit Mo Qingyun with his palm, Mo Hai immediately revealed a proud expression and said, "Mo Qingyun, didn't you shamelessly boast that I was too weak? How come now you can't even see my attack clearly and got hit by it directly? Can't even see your attack clearly?" Looking at the proud Mo Hai, Mo Qingyun smiled disdainfully and said, "Did you not eat? Is that all you have? Didn't eat? Is that all you have?" As soon as Mo Qingyun said this, the surrounding people were immediately stunned. At this moment, they realized that Mo Qingyun was completely fine after taking Mo Hai's palm. Since when had Mo Qingyun become so powerful after taking Mo Hai's palm strike head-on? At this moment, everyone felt that their brains were not enough to process this. Chapter 36. Qingyun, he took Mo Hai's attack head-on. Mo Faping and the rest were stunned as they watched Mo Qingyun take Mo Hai's attack head-on and emerge unscathed. The difference between this result and the result they had imagined was simply too great. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would never have believed that Mo Qingyun could be so strong. After a short moment of shock, Mo Faping was overjoyed as he laughed. "This brat, why didn't he tell us earlier that he had such strength? I was so worried. It's really surprising. I didn't expect Qingyun to have grown to such a level. If third brother saw this, he would be very happy." Mo Yueru's face was filled with gratification as tears welled up in her eyes. How did this guy improve so quickly? Mo Xian looked at Mo Qingyun as if she had seen a monster. She could not calm down for a long time. She clearly remembered that Mo Qingyun had just broken through to body-tempering realm stage for a month ago. In a month's time, he had broken through 2 stages. This cultivation speed was too frightening. It's only been a few months and Qingyun has already become so powerful. Mo Ling was also shocked as she covered her mouth with her jade-like hands. Her eyes were filled with shock. She could not believe that Mo Qingyun had become so powerful in just a few months. Qingyun has become so much more powerful than 10 days ago. Mo Xiao took a deep breath as she patted her full chest, trying to calm herself down. This brat has grown so quickly. It seems that it will be difficult for second brother to defeat him. Mo Tsang's face darkened as he saw Mo Qingyun's sudden display of strength. While Mo Xian and the rest were shocked, the people around them were also shocked. Damn, am I seeing things? Mo Qingyun took Mo Hai's attack head-on and is unscathed. This guy is too abnormal. How did he do it? Even a body-tempering realm stage 7 wouldn't be able to do it. Aya, F***ck, why did you bite me? I want to see if I'm dreaming. It seems like I'm not dreaming. Mo Qingyun is actually so strong. The surrounding juniors were all shocked as they cried out in surprise. In the number 1 arena, Mo Hai was also very surprised that Mo Qingyun could take his palm head-on. However, he did not believe that Mo Qingyun would be unscathed. Soon after, a sneer surfaced on Mo Hai's face as he said, Mo Qingyun, I am very surprised that you were able to take my palm head-on. However, I believe that you must be having a hard time right now. With the destructive power of my palm, even a tempered body 7th layer practitioner would not be completely fine after taking it head-on. Not good? Mo Qingyun looked at Mo Hai sympathetically. This guy was really full of himself. However, Mo Qingyun didn't want to waste time talking nonsense with him. He replied directly, They can't do it, but that doesn't mean I can't. You've already done it, so it's my turn now. 9 Heavy crash. As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate any longer as he raised his hand and punched towards Mo Hai. With one punch, the force on Mo Qingyun's fist was unrestrained. It was like a whirlpool of force, emitting a force that was even stronger than Mo Hai's. Inner force. You've also condensed inner force. Seeing the violent flow of inner force on Mo Qingyun's fist, Mo Hai's face instantly changed as a trace of panic flashed across his eyes. Mo Qingyun had also condensed inner force, and it was even stronger and more violent than Mo Hai's. Mo Hai could not help but be shocked by this discovery. Inner force, good kid, you've actually condensed inner force. What a surprise. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had condensed inner force, Mo Faping immediately slapped the chair and stood up excitedly. As for Mo Yuru and the rest, their faces were also filled with excitement as they clenched their fists in joy. In this battle, Mo Qingyun had brought them too many surprises. While Mo Faping and the rest were pleasantly surprised, Mo Zhirong and Mo Tsang's faces turned ugly. Inner force, I didn't expect this kid to have also condensed inner force. Seeing the power of Mo Qingyun's punch, Mo Zhirong's face darkened as he said in alarm, If this is the case, Mo Hai is in danger. We can't let them continue fighting. With this thought, Mo Zhirong stood up, wanting to stop Mo Qingyun from attacking. But just as he stood up, Mo Faping stood in front of him, blocking his next move. Mo Faping, you. Seeing Mo Faping's actions, Mo Zhirong's face immediately darkened as he gritted his teeth. Cousin Zhirong, didn't you just say that the clan's rules clearly state that the elders are not allowed to interfere in the monthly test? Seeing Mo Zhirong's angry expression, Mo Faping said with a faint smile. When he said this, Mo Faping felt extremely satisfied. They didn't expect retribution to come so quickly. Not long ago, Mo Zhirong had treated him like this. Now, he was returning the favor. This was too satisfying. Hearing Mo Feipeng's words, Mo Zhirong's face instantly turned ugly. He didn't know how to refute Mo Feipeng. In the monthly test, the elders couldn't interfere. This was indeed what he had just said. But he didn't expect that after he said this, he would shoot himself in the foot. In the number 1 arena. Bang 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 bang. Under Mo Qingyun's punch, Mo Hai was directly sent flying. Waves of inner force hit his body. Under the violent force, Mo Hai's body was directly smashed into the shape of a prawn. Pooh! Under Mo Qingyun's attack, Mo Hai, who fell to the ground, immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. Mo Hai quickly admit defeat. After realizing this, Mo Zhirong couldn't sit still any longer and hurriedly reminded Mo Hai. But just as Mo Zhirong was about to speak, Mo Qingyun attacked Mo Hai again. He lifted his foot and stepped on Mo Hai's mouth. Mo Hai's mouth was stomped on by Mo Qingyun's foot, so he swallowed back his words of wanting to admit defeat. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Mo Zhirong and Mo Tsang's expressions changed. They clenched their fists and pointed at Mo Qingyun. Gnashing their teeth, they said, "Brat, don't go too far." Go too far? Hearing the two's words, Mo Qingyun's mouth twitched. He didn't care and said, "Mo Tsang, don't forget that I said that in this monthly test, I will definitely cripple Mo Hai." After saying this, Mo Qingyun lifted his foot again, and stepped on Mo Hai's hands and feet. Crack, crack, under Mo Qingyun's foot, the crisp sound of bones cracking could be heard. At the same time, Mo Hai's hands and feet were also crippled. Mo Qingyun, how ruthless! Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, the surrounding juniors' expressions changed. They looked at Mo Qingyun with reverence. Mo Qingyun, you're courting death. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had crippled Mo Hai, Mo Tsang was instantly enraged. He directly attacked Mo Qingyun. Seeing Mo Tsang attack, Mo Xian moved and blocked his path. She smiled playfully and said, "Mo Tsang, if you want to fight, I'll play with you." Previously, when she wanted to attack Mo Hai, Mo Tsang had treated her like this. She just didn't expect that their positions would be switched so quickly. As the saying goes, every dog has its day. Seeing that his path was blocked by Mo Xian, Mo Tsang was so angry that his whole body trembled. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a ferocious expression and said, "Mo Qingyun, today's debt, I will make you pay double at the year-end competition. You won't have that chance?" In response to Mo Tsang's threat, Mo Qingyun's face was calm as he replied indifferently. "You mean, you have the right to fight me at the year-end competition?" Mo Tsang said with disdain. Chapter 37. Wow, that's Mo Yunfeng. He actually took Mo Dongyang's attack and was fine. Mo Yunfeng is really strong. Of course he's strong. Mo Yunfeng was the champion of the last monthly test. However, it's surprising that he could take Mo Dongyang's attack head-on. Mo Dongyang was in the top 10 in the last monthly test. I didn't expect the gap between him and Mo Yunfeng to be so huge. If that's the case, I'm really curious. Between Mo Qingyun and Mo Yunfeng, who's stronger? It should be Mo Yunfeng. After all, he was the champion of the last monthly test. Moreover, his cultivation has reached the peak of the 6th-stage body tempering realm. You've all overlooked the most important point. Mo Yunfeng's martial soul is a top-class 8-fire scale dragon. Just as Mo Qingyun was walking towards Mo Feipeng and the rest, a commotion broke out in the 3rd arena. When he heard this commotion, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but look over at battle arena number 3. In the 3rd arena, the cold and arrogant youth, Mo Yunfeng, was stepping on his opponent with an overbearing aura. Mo Yunfeng's actions were almost identical to Mo Qingyun's. It seemed like he was competing with Mo Qingyun. When Mo Qingyun looked at Mo Yunfeng looked back at Mo Qingyun. When their eyes met, Mo Yunfeng raised his thumb and turned it 180 degrees, showing his disdain for Mo Qingyun. Seeing Mo Yunfeng's action, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and made a throat-slitting gesture. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Mo Yunfeng's face darkened. He said coldly, Mo Qingyun, don't think that you're amazing just because you used some trump cards to take Mo Hai's attack head-on. Among the younger generation, you're only at the bottom. The one at the bottom? Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied nonchalantly, let me tell you something. Actually, in my eyes, Mo Yunfeng isn't even considered to be at the bottom. Did I hear wrongly? Mo Qingyun actually said that Mo Yunfeng can't even be considered as the weakest in front of him. Mo Qingyun is too arrogant. But if that's the case, I'm even more curious about the fight between Mo Qingyun and Mo Yunfeng. However, I feel that Mo Qingyun is being a little impulsive. Mo Yunfeng is not someone Mo Hai can compare to. That's right. Mo Hai's strength only came from a fortuitous encounter. Mo Yunfeng is the real deal. What do you know? Mo Qingyun doesn't even care about Mo Tsang. Do you think he'll go after Mo Yunfeng? Hearing Mo Qingyun's conversation, the surrounding juniors immediately went into an uproar, all of them extremely surprised. They didn't expect that Mo Qingyun would actually speak to Mo Yunfeng like this. There's no point in competing with words. Mo Yunfeng snorted coldly. He raised his head and said arrogantly, if I meet you in the fight later, I'll let you know who's the weakest. You too. Mo Qingyun replied indifferently. Then, he walked towards Mo Faping and the rest. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Mo Faping and the rest. Good boy, you actually broke through body tempering stage 6 and even managed to gather inner strength. How many secrets are you hiding? Seeing Mo Qingyun approaching, Mo Faping laughed loudly and patted Mo Qingyun's shoulder. Hee hee. Hearing Mo Faping's words, Mo Qingyun scratched his head awkwardly and laughed awkwardly. Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression, Mo Yuru smiled gently and said, although you're not weak now, Mo Yunfeng isn't as strong as Mo Hai. If you meet him later, you have to be careful. Okay, I'll be careful. Mo Qingyun nodded but didn't say anything else. Qingyun beat that Mo Yunfeng into a pig head later. While Mo Qingyun and the rest were chatting, Mo Xiao walked over and winked at Mo Qingyun. She clenched her little fist and said, since Mo Xiao's strength wasn't as strong as Mo Qingyun's, the fight took a little longer and ended only now. Fortunately, she won by a fluke. Xiao, you seem to have a lot of confidence in Qingyun. Hearing Mo Xiao's words, Mo Xian's eyes lit up and she teased Mo Xiao. I saw that all of you don't have high hopes for Qingyun, so I'm cheering for him. Mo Xiao blushed and said embarrassedly. After hearing Mo Xiao's words, everyone was stunned. Then they laughed and said, haha, Xiao is right. The battle hasn't even started yet, and we're already discouraging Qingyun. It's not good to do that. It's wrong to lose momentum before the battle. Qingyun, do well and try to get into the top 10 of this month's monthly test. That's right. I heard that the monthly test's reward for the elite juniors is double that of the ordinary juniors. Qingyun, I saw a good hairpin in town. I'm counting on your reward to buy it. I also saw a scarf. Qingyun, I'm counting on you for my scarf. Then, Mo Faping and the rest started to encourage Mo Qingyun. Seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and nodded. Hearing Mo Xian and the other two girls' words, Mo Qingyun was speechless. Does this girl want me to be a coolie? After that, Mo Qingyun chatted with Mo Faping and the rest for a while. Then, they went to draw lots to decide their opponent for the second round. This time, Mo Qingyun's opponent was someone called Mo Mingwei. His strength was only at the peak of body tempering stage 5, far below Mo Hai. When Mo Mingwei saw that his opponent was Mo Qingyun, his face turned pale and he immediately admitted defeat. It seemed that the scene of Mo Hai being beaten up by Mo Qingyun had traumatized him. With Mo Mingwei's admission of defeat, Mo Qingyun naturally advanced to the next round. In the following matches, Mo Qingyun had an easier time. His opponents weren't very strong. When these people saw that their opponent was Mo Qingyun, they were like Mo Mingwei, directly admitting defeat as soon as the battle began. Just like that, Mo Qingyun easily advanced to the top 10. Compared to Mo Qingyun's ease, Mo Xiao wasn't as lucky. When he advanced to the top 10, he met Mo Fengxian, who ranked third in the last monthly test, and was defeated by Mo Fengxian. However, to Mo Xiao, being able to enter the top 20 was still a good thing. After the matches for the top 10 ended, the top 10 candidates were decided. They were Mo Qingyun, Mo Yunfeng, Mo Fengxian, Mo Zhu, Mo Ruxin, and a few others. Rest for an hour. We'll start the top 10 ranking matches later. At the judges' table, an elder walked out and said to Mo Qingyun and the rest. However, what surprised everyone was that after hearing the elder's words, Mo Yunfeng suddenly opened his mouth and said, "Uncle, there's no need to go through so much trouble. Let me challenge all of them. Their ranking will be based on how long they last in my hand." After hearing Mo Yunfeng's words, everyone's expression changed as they looked at Mo Yunfeng in shock. Mo Yunfeng wanted to challenge all 9 of them in a row? Mo Yunfeng was too arrogant. One had to know that the longer a challenge went on, the harder it would be. This, after hearing Mo Yunfeng's words, the elder hesitated for a moment before turning to Mo Qingyun and the rest. He asked, "What do you think? Uncle, let's do as Mo Yunfeng says. I want to see how strong you are. I don't have any objections. However, I don't know what will happen if I defeat him due to his lack of stamina." "I think so too. I don't want someone to use this as an excuse to cheat." After hearing this, Mo Zhu and the rest spoke one after another. Mo Yunfeng seemed to have expected Mo Zhu and the rest to say this. After hearing this, he said calmly, "You don't have to worry about this. If any of you can defeat me, I'll be ranked 10th in this monthly test." When Mo Yunfeng said this, his face was filled with confidence. "In that case, we have no objections." Then, Mo Ziyang and the rest nodded in agreement. In their opinion, if they could move up a spot in the rankings, they wouldn't have any objections. Seeing that Mo Ziyang and the rest didn't have any objections, the elder also nodded in tacit agreement. Seeing that everyone agreed to his suggestion, Mo Yunfeng immediately sneered. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said, "Mo Qingyun, you'll be the first. Now, I'll let you know that among all of us, you're the one at the bottom." "Me?" Chapter 38. Mo Qingyun, you won't be able to survive even one move from me. In the arena, Mo Yunfeng's face was full of arrogance as if he had already won. As soon as Mo Yunfeng finished speaking, he summoned his martial soul. Suddenly, a powerful aura was emitted from the top of his head. It was a huge snake shadow that was more than 3 meters long and covered in crimson scales. Grade 8 Martial Soul, Fiery Scale Dragon Martial Soul. After Mo Yunfeng summoned the Fiery Scale Dragon Martial Soul, a shocking amount of soul power was emitted from it and enhanced Mo Yunfeng's body. With the enhancement of the soul power, Mo Yunfeng's strength instantly soared to the level of a body tempering stage 7. With the enhancement of the soul power of his martial soul, Mo Yunfeng's current strength is probably comparable to a body tempering stage 7. It seems like Mo Qingyun will lose for sure. I wonder how many moves Mo Qingyun can take against Mo Yunfeng. In my opinion, 3 moves at most. Looking at the imposing Mo Yunfeng in the arena, the expressions of the surrounding juniors changed. Grade 8 Martial Soul, Fiery Scale Dragon Martial Soul. Looking at the red shadow above Mo Yunfeng's head, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He thought to himself, Mo Yunfeng's current strength should be comparable to Song Chen's without his martial soul. His strength was comparable to a body-tempering Stage 7 cultivator. Among the Mo clan's juniors, he was indeed at the peak. But to the current Mo Qingyun, he was still unable to pose much of a threat. After absorbing the Earth Core Flame Crystal, Mo Qingyun's current physical strength were comparable to a body-tempering Stage 8 cultivator. Now, even if he did not summon his martial soul, he could easily defeat Song Chen. Mo Qingyun, I'll take care of you in one move, Mo Yunfeng said coldly. Crimson Scale Dragon Palm, Mo Yunfeng swung his palm. His entire body turned into a red afterimage as he attacked Mo Yunfeng with extreme speed. Under Mo Yunfeng's palm, the temperature of the surrounding air suddenly rose by a lot. It was as if Mo Yunfeng's palm was going to burn the surrounding air. Mo Yunfeng was so strong. When Mo Ziyu and the others saw this, their expressions changed and they revealed looks of reverence. Mo Yunfeng's current strength wasn't any weaker than some of the Mo family's key nurturing targets. Everyone watched as Mo Yunfeng's attack arrived in front of Mo Qingyun at an extremely fast speed. Seeing that Mo Qingyun couldn't even resist his attack, Mo Yunfeng smiled proudly. However, as soon as his smile appeared, it froze. He realized that just as his palm was about to hit Mo Qingyun, it was blocked by a powerful palm. Mo Yunfeng's expression changed when he saw Mo Qingyun easily withstanding his full-powered attack. However, before Mo Yunfeng could say anything, he felt a punch land on his chest. 9 heavy crash. A violent force surged from Mo Qingyun's fist into Mo Yunfeng's body. Bang 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 bang. When the force entered Mo Yunfeng's body, it was like an iron hammer, bombarding his body again and again. Mo Yunfeng let out a blood-curdling scream as his body was sent flying. He fell to the ground and coughed up blood. After seeing this scene, the surrounding people were immediately stunned. Not only the elders, but the juniors were also stunned. It was as if someone had used the body immobilization technique on them. In an instant, the martial arts practice field became silent. Everyone could hear the sound of breathing. Mo Yunfeng lost. Mo Yunfeng, who had summoned his grade 8 martial soul, the Fire Scale Dragon, and whose strength was comparable to a body-tempering Stage 7 martial soul, lost. And it was only one move. This scene was too unexpected and too sudden for everyone. Gulp! After a while, someone swallowed his saliva and exclaimed, "One move, Mo Qingyun lost in just one move. Mo Qingyun is so strong. Is this the true strength of that brat?" Mo Feiping's eyes widened as he looked at the skinny figure in the arena. He defeated Mo Yunfeng, whose strength is comparable to a body-tempering Stage 7 martial soul, in one move. Looks like I underestimated Qin Yun again. Mo Yueru was pleasantly surprised as she looked at Mo Qingyun in the arena with a gentle gaze. This guy is already so strong? Mo Xin and Mo Ling frowned, unable to hide the shock in their eyes. He seems to be more powerful than I imagined. Mo Xiao smiled, her face filled with excitement. What a surprise. I didn't expect this guy to defeat Mo Yunfeng in one move. Some of the elders beside Mo Feiping were shocked by this result. In just 2 months, this guy has already grown to such a level? Looking at Mo Qingyun, who was now a body-tempering Stage 7 martial soul, Mo Tsang's face became unnatural. In the arena, while everyone was still in shock, Mo Qingyun looked at Mo Yunfeng with disdain and said, "Defeat me in one move?" Mo Yunfeng, whose blood and qi were already in turmoil, spat out another mouthful of blood when he heard this. Mo Qingyun's words made him feel humiliated and mocked. Before the fight, he swore that he would defeat Mo Qingyun in one move. But now, he was defeated by Mo Qingyun in one move. How ironic. Uncle, can we announce the result now? Ignoring Mo Yunfeng, Mo Qingyun looked at the judge and asked. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the elder hesitated for a while and said, Mo Qingyun wins. Mo Yunfeng is ranked 10th in the monthly test. Mo Yunfeng was ranked 10th. With Mo Yunfeng's strength, if it wasn't for the previous agreement, he would have no problem getting second place. But now, he was ranked 10th. This result made everyone sigh in their hearts. This was unexpected. But with Mo Yunfeng's defeat, a new problem arose. Originally, everyone had discussed that they would be ranked according to the length of time they fought with Mo Yunfeng. But now, under Mo Qingyun's attack, Mo Yunfeng was beaten like a dead dog. He couldn't fight at all. In this case, the previous ranking method was obviously not suitable. Uncle, you said that the monthly test's ranking would be based on the length of time we can last against Mo Yunfeng. Now that Mo Yunfeng can't fight anymore, what should we do next? Mo Ziyu suddenly spoke up from the side. Now, it seems that Mo Yunfeng's previous suggestion was not suitable. The next battle will be decided by drawing lot. The elder in charge of the judging said in a deep voice. Hearing the elder in charge of the judging said so, Mo Qingyun and the others had no objections. Then, Mo Qingyun and the others began to draw lots to decide their next opponents. Mo Ziyu and the others were weaker than Mo Qingyun. Naturally, they were not a match for Mo Qingyun. After a series of battles, Mo Qingyun was able to obtain first place in the Elite Juniors monthly test without any mishaps. Mo Qingyun winning first place in the monthly test was naturally out of everyone's expectations. Under everyone's complicated gazes, Mo Qingyun happily received the 20,000 gold coins reward for winning first place. After receiving the reward, Mo Qingyun did not stay any longer and left with Mo Feipeng and the others. Humph! Don't be happy too early. In the family competition, your strength is not enough. When Mo Qingyun passed by Mo Tsang, the latter's face darkened and coldly snorted. Is that so? Chapter 39. After arriving at an empty space, Mo Qingyun sat down cross-legged, as if he was about to start cultivating. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the surrounding people stopped in their tracks and looked at him curiously. What is Mo Qingyun doing? Is he planning to cultivate here? I don't think so. Even if he wants to cultivate, he shouldn't be here. Let's wait and see. We'll find out soon enough. The surrounding people chatted amongst themselves. What is Qingyun doing? At this moment, Mo Feipeng and the others were also curious, but they did not stop Mo Qingyun. They believed that Mo Qingyun had his own plans for doing so. I'd like to see what tricks you have up your sleeves. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Mo Tsang's expression changed slightly, and his eyes flashed coldly. Just like that, Mo Qingyun started cultivating under the curious gazes of the crowd. After a while, Mo Qingyun threw away all distracting thoughts and immersed himself in cultivation. As Mo Qingyun started cultivating, the crowd realized that Mo Qingyun's aura was gradually increasing. After this discovery, some of the elders quickly guessed Mo Qingyun's intentions. Mo Qingyun was trying to break through his cultivation. He wanted to break through his cultivation in front of everyone. After this discovery, the surrounding elders were shocked, and they looked at Mo Qingyun with a serious expression. Apart from that, they also looked at Mo Qingyun expectantly. Could Mo Qingyun successfully break through? This kid is too reckless. How can he break through in such an environment? After knowing Mo Qingyun's intentions, Mo Feipeng frowned and scolded him in his heart. However, he still quickly went to Mo Qingyun's side to protect Mo Qingyun and prevent others from disturbing Mo Qingyun. Seeing Mo Feipeng's actions, Mo Yuru and the rest also moved and quickly went to Mo Qingyun's side. How dare you break through in front of so many people? You really don't know what's good for you. I'd like to see if you can succeed. Mo Tsang's gaze turned cold as he thought to himself. However, he did not cause any trouble. After all, with so many people watching, he still had some concerns. Time slowly passed just like that. After about half an hour, Mo Qingyun's aura finally reached a peak. Body tempering stage 7. Emo Qingyun's cultivation had successfully broken through to the 7th stage body tempering realm. Sensing the change in Emo Qingyun's aura, the surrounding people's faces. Emo Qingyun had actually done it. In front of everyone, he successfully broke through to body tempering stage 7. He did it. Emo Qingyun did it. This is too surprising. His foundation must be very solid to be able to break through in such a manner. Otherwise, it would be impossible. I'm afraid no one in the Emo clan has broken through in such a manner. Everyone's expression was complicated as they sighed in their hearts. This brat is really worrisome. Seeing that Emo Qingyun successfully broke through, Emo Faping's face was filled with joy as he laughed heartily. How many surprises does this brat plan to bring me? In this month's test, he has already surprised me a few times. Emo Yueru's gaze was gentle as she looked at Emo Qingyun with a gratified expression. Brat, you only know how to show off. You don't care if others are worried. Emo Xian looked at Emo Qingyun with a displeased expression, but her face was also filled with smiles. Emo Ling and Emo Xiao also had the same expression. He actually succeeded. Compared to the joy of Emo Faping and the rest, Emo Tsang was in a bad mood. His expression was extremely ugly. At this moment, while Emo Tsang was fuming in his heart, Emo Qingyun opened his eyes. His gaze was filled with battle intent as he looked at Emo Tsang and said, Emo Tsang, do you still want to say that my cultivation is not good enough for the family competition? After hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Emo Tsang's expression changed slightly. Shortly after, his face was filled with disdain as he said, It's just a breakthrough to body tempering stage 7. What's there to be proud of? Is that so? Emo Qingyun squinted his eyes and revealed a playful smile as he said, Don't forget that my cultivation was only at body tempering stage 4 in the last month's test. Now that I'm at body tempering stage 7, there's still a month before the family competition. Do you think that my cultivation will still be at body tempering stage 7? After Emo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people's expressions changed instantly. At this moment they realized that they had overlooked a very important point. That was, Emo Qingyun's cultivation in the last month's test. If that was the case, wouldn't Emo Qingyun's cultivation have broken through 3 levels in a month? Breaking through 3 levels in a month, what kind of cultivation speed is this? At this moment, everyone felt that their brains were not enough to process this. They had never heard of this kind of cultivation before. It was terrifying. Breaking through 3 levels in a month. Is this guy's martial spirit really a grade 1 martial spirit? Even if it's a grade 10 martial spirit, it's impossible to have such a cultivation speed. How did he do it? What an interesting guy. I'm getting more and more curious about him. Me too. I'm looking forward to his performance in the family competition at the end of the year. At this moment, everyone's gaze was focused on Emo Qingyun, making him the center of attention. After hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Emo Tsang's face turned extremely ugly. He coldly glared at Emo Qingyun and said, What a joke. The further you cultivate, the slower your cultivation speed. Do you think that you can maintain this cultivation speed? Joke? Emo Qingyun once again laughed carelessly and replied, Aren't you a joke too? You've always been proud of your cultivation speed, right? In my opinion, you've only started cultivating a few years earlier than me. A few years earlier than me? Emo Qingyun's words once again made everyone's expression change as they pondered over the meaning of his words. Emo Qingyun was right. Emo Tsang was now 18 years old, while Emo Qingyun was only 16 years old. If Emo Qingyun and Emo Tsang were the same age, then it would be difficult to determine the difference in their cultivation. After thinking about this, Emo Qingyun's image in everyone's hearts instantly improved. My martial spirit is a grade 10 Nether Tiger martial spirit, while you only have a grade 1 Illumination martial spirit. What qualifications do you have to compare with me? Emotsang said with a face full of pride. Grade 10 Nether Tiger Martial Spirit? With this kind of cultivation speed, you still have the nerve to show it off? Emo-Chingyun looked at Emotsang with disdain and sneered again. In my opinion, anyone in the family who has a martial spirit like yours will have a cultivation speed that far surpasses yours. In my opinion, you, Emotsang, do not have the Nether Tiger martial spirit. You're simply worthless. Worthless? Emotsang? Hearing Emo-Chingyun's evaluation of Emotsang, everyone's expression changed again as they were shocked. However, thinking carefully about Emo-Chingyun's words, they seemed to make some sense. Immediately after, the way everyone looked at Emotsang changed slightly. There was less respect and more disdain in their eyes. Seeing this, Emotsang's expression was extremely ugly. He stared at Emo-Chingyun and said, "Humph, you have a sharp tongue. I'd like to see if you're as powerful as you say you are during the family competition. I hope you won't slap your own face when the time comes. I'll also tell you, when the time comes, wash your face clean and wait for me to slap you." In response to Emotsang's words, Emo-Chingyun did not back down at all. "Humph!" Emotsang snorted coldly and left immediately. Chapter 40. A few days later, at Emo-Chingyun's residence. My cultivation has completely stabilized at body tempering stage 7. Emo-Chingyun, who had been cultivating, opened his eyes and exited from his cultivation with a joyful look on his face. After returning from the martial arts practice field, Emo-Chingyun went straight into cultivation to stabilize his cultivation. Why is my martial soul so agitated? Emo-Chingyun's expression changed when he felt the fluctuation of soul power from his martial soul. He was puzzled. Emo-Chingyun then summoned his Scarlet Dragon martial soul and the White Light Gate martial soul. The Scarlet Dragon martial soul and the White Light Gate martial soul emitted a strong fluctuation of soul power. After a while, Emo-Chingyun realized that the Scarlet Dragon martial soul's soul power was gathering rapidly. Under the rapid gathering of soul power, a mini-dragon shadow gradually formed. As soon as the mini-dragon shadow was formed, it entered Emo-Chingyun's head and took root in his sea of consciousness. At this moment, information emerged from the mini-dragon shadow and entered Emo-Chingyun's mind. This is a martial soul superpower. After digesting the information in his mind, Emo-Chingyun was pleasantly surprised. In the Tianhun continent, martial artists would awaken their martial soul and obtain the martial soul superpower when they reached the true Qi realm. Emo-Chingyun did not expect his martial soul to awaken and obtain the martial soul superpower in advance when he was only at body tempering stage 7. Blood Rage activates the blood Qi in the body. The stronger the body and blood Qi are, the stronger the strength obtained. This was the innate ability of Emo-Chingyun's martial soul that he had obtained from the Scarlet Flame Heavenly Dragon. Blood Rage, so powerful! From the name, it could be seen that the martial soul superpower, Blood Rage, seemed to be a superpower with growth potential. It would increase as the martial artist's strength increased. After using it, it would increase the martial artist's strength. Blood Qi Frenzy. Seeing this, Emo-Chingyun no longer hesitated and displayed the martial soul superpower, Blood Rage. Soon, Emo-Chingyun felt a hidden power being activated and added to his body. With the support of this potential, Emo-Chingyun could clearly feel that his strength had skyrocketed in an instant. I should be able to fight a body tempering stage 9 now. Feeling the energy in his body, Emo-Chingyun was confident. Even though he was unable to defeat a 9th stage body tempering realm cultivator, he should be able to remain undefeated. The White Light Gate martial soul seems to have awakened and is forming the superpower seed. At this moment, White Light Gate martial soul, martial soul, martial soul, martial soul, martial soul, martial soul. Emo-Chingyun did not understand the origin of the White Light Gate martial soul. It gave Mo Qingyun a mysterious feeling. Mo Qingyun always had a feeling that the White Light Gate martial soul was not a Grade 1 martial soul. It might even be more mysterious and powerful than the Scarlet Dragon martial soul. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun was even more curious and expectant about the White Light Gate martial soul's natal superpower. After a while, the White Light Gate martial soul's soul power finally stopped fluctuating. At this moment, the White Light Gate martial soul's martial soul, which had been tightly shut, finally opened. A wisp of ancient aura escaped from within. This aura is so strong. Mo Qingyun was shocked. He found it hard to believe that the White Light Gate martial soul could release such a strong aura. Inside the White Light Gate martial soul, there's a mini Light Gate martial soul. Looking at the White Light Gate martial soul that had opened, Mo Qingyun's expression changed again. He was shocked. No, this is the martial soul's superpower seed of the White Light Gate martial soul. After a brief moment of doubt, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed. He revealed a look of surprise. While Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised, the White Light Gate martial soul's superpower seed also entered his celestial spirit and took root. Sealed Gate. The stronger the soul power of the caster, the more overbearing the sealing power. It can seal flesh and blood, seal the spiritual soul, and seal all things in the world. This martial soul's superpower is too terrifying. Mo Qingyun's face was full of shock. He could not believe that there was such a terrifying martial soul's superpower in the world. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was sure that the origin of the Light Gate martial soul was definitely more mysterious and powerful than the Scarlet Dragon martial soul. This was because only the stronger the martial soul, the more powerful the martial soul's superpower would be. How could a low-grade martial soul give birth to such a powerful martial soul's superpower? I just don't know how powerful this Sealed Gate martial soul's superpower is. With this thought, Mo Qingyun could not wait to see the power of the Sealed Gate martial soul. Immediately, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and directly headed to Purple Bamboo Mountain. In Purple Bamboo Mountain, he could constantly find spiritual herbs and many demonic beasts. In Mo Qingyun's eyes, these demonic beasts were his best sparring partners. Because the Sealed Gate martial soul's superpower was too powerful, Mo Qingyun did not want others to know. Therefore, it was best to find demonic beasts as sparring partners. Mo Qingyun was very clear that with the power of the Sealed Gate martial soul's superpower, once it was known by others, it would definitely be a terrible thing. This was equivalent to a crime of possessing a treasure. When one's ability was not enough, one would obtain a treasure that one could not protect. This was actually a kind of disaster in disguise. A few days later, in a dense forest in the depths of Purple Bamboo Mountain. Sealed Gate, seal for me. A skinny teenager around the age of 15 or 16 pointed his finger at a blue mysterious serpent. Following this, a glowing door was rapidly formed on top of his finger, which instantly entered the body of the blue mysterious serpent. As soon as the glowing door entered the body of the blue mysterious serpent, the blue mysterious serpent's cultivation rapidly weakened. From the initial early stage of the 10th layer body tempering realm, it dropped to the mid-stage of the 9th layer body tempering realm in the blink of an eye. Blood Chi rampaged. The teenager let out a yell, and his aura instantly increased. From the early stage of the 7th layer body tempering realm to the peak of the 8th layer body tempering realm, close to the 9th layer body tempering realm. This teenager was Mo Qingyun, who had left the Mo clan to train at Purple Bamboo Mountain. 9-layer crash. After executing the two martial souls' superpowers, Mo Qingyun executed the martial skill 9-layer crash, and struck at the blue mysterious serpent with his palm. With this strike, a powerful force was emitted from his palm and struck the body of the blue mysterious serpent. Bang 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 bang. As the force entered the body of the blue mysterious serpent, a series of dull sounds could be heard as it struck the inside of the blue mysterious serpent's body. crack under the impact of the violent force. The sound of bones cracking could be heard from the blue mysterious serpent's body. Following this, the aura of the blue mysterious serpent gradually weakened until it disappeared. One strike. The ninth layer body tempering realm blue mysterious serpent was dead. At this moment, if someone from the Mo clan was here, they would definitely be scared witless after witnessing this scene. Mo Qinyun had already grown to such a level. It seems like the effect of the sealed gate is weaker when it's facing a stronger opponent. After several days of testing, Mo Qinyun had a clear understanding of the sealed gate's power. The stronger the opponent, the less effective the sealed gate was. Against a 10th layer body tempering realm cultivator, it could only weaken the opponent's cultivation by half. Even so, it was still quite powerful. As for the true energy realm beasts, Mo Qinyun did not provoke them. He was not at the stage where he was tired of living. After battling with the beasts for the past few days, Mo Qinyun had a rough understanding of his own strength. Without using any of his trump cards, his strength was comparable to an 8th layer body tempering realm cultivator. After using the 9-layer crash, he could fight anyone below the peak of the 8th layer body tempering realm. However, he was no match for a peak 8th layer body tempering realm cultivator. If he only used the blood rage and martial skill, he could fight against a 9th layer body tempering realm cultivator, but he was no match for a peak 9th layer body tempering realm cultivator. If he used all of his trump cards, he could barely fight against a mid-stage body tempering realm cultivator, but it would be difficult for him to fight against a late-stage body tempering realm cultivator. Once he encountered a peak 10th layer body tempering realm cultivator, Mo Qinyun could only choose wisely to run for his life. Not long ago, Mo Qinyun encountered a 10th layer body tempering realm red sun fireball. Even after using all of his trump cards, he was still defeated. If the red sun fireball was not good at speed, Mo Qinyun would have died there. In addition, Mo Qinyun recently discovered another use of the sealed gate martial spirit. It could be used on oneself to conceal one's true cultivation level. After discovering this use, Mo Qinyun immediately came up with a plan. Chapter 41. Now that I've familiarized myself with the martial spirit's superpowers, it's time to improve my cultivation. Mo Qinyun knew that cultivation was the foundation of a martial artist. Without a strong cultivation as a foundation, no matter how powerful the martial spirit's superpowers and martial techniques were, they would not be able to unleash their full potential. With this in mind, Mo Qinyun prepared to return to the Mo family and cultivate in seclusion to improve his cultivation. The cave that I went to with Mo Shao last time seems to be more suitable for seclusion. As Mo Qinyun was about to leave Purple Bamboo Mountain, his eyes suddenly lit up as he thought of a better place to cultivate in seclusion. The power of the underground lava can not only help in refining pills, but also allow the Scarlet Flame Dragon martial spirit to devour the power of fire to strengthen itself. With this in mind, Mo Qinyun did not hesitate and immediately went to the cave. About half an hour later, Mo Qinyun arrived at the cave. Due to the improvement of his cultivation, Mo Qinyun felt less pressured by the heat waves in the cave. After entering the cave, Mo Qinyun went straight to the innermost part of the cave. At the bottom of the cave, Mo Qinyun took out the Scarlet Flame Cauldron and the herbs and spiritual herbs for refining pills and started refining pills. Half a day later, a fragrance of pills came out from the cauldron. The pills were formed. Red pills quietly appeared in the pill cauldron. Beginner Grade 3. 9 Transforming Strength Pills. Looking at the grade of the pills in the pill cauldron, Mo Qinyun revealed a trace of joy. He said, "The power of fire from this underground lava can be used to help refine pills. Indeed, it can raise the quality of pills. With these 9 Beginner Grade 3 Transforming Strength Pills, my cultivation should be able to reach body tempering realm LV8. Mo Qingyun put away the pills in the cauldron and looked forward to it. Then, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate. He swallowed a transforming strength pill and sat down cross-legged to start cultivating. As soon as the transforming strength pill entered his body, it melted into Mo Qingyun's qi, blood, and body in the blink of an eye. Under the effect of the transforming strength pill, Mo Qingyun's qi, blood, and body quickly condensed small streams of inner strength. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun was immediately delighted and tried his best to absorb and refine the effects of the transforming strength pill. 3 days later, 3 transforming strength pills were absorbed and refined by Mo Qingyun. Under the effects of the 3 transforming strength pills, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had reached the peak of mid-stage body tempering stage 7. He was only 1 step away from late-stage body tempering stage 7. 7 days later, 7 transforming strength pills were absorbed by Mo Qingyun LV8. After absorbing 7 strength refining pills, Mo Qingyun's aura reached its peak. The peak of the late-stage 7th layer body tempering realm. Break. LV LV LV8 LV to break LV 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 LV8 LV LV V LV boom. At that moment, Mo Qingyun seemed to hear a rumbling sound coming from within his body. Body tempering stage 8. Success. With this burst of energy, Mo Qingyun successfully broke through the barrier of body tempering stage 8. With this, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had successfully reached the 8th layer body tempering realm. Although he had successfully achieved a breakthrough in his cultivation, Mo Qingyun did not stop cultivating. Instead, he swallowed the last energy refining pill and started cultivating again to stabilize his cultivation of body tempering stage 8. 3 days later, Mo Qingyun exited from his cultivation with a look of pleasant surprise on his face. The peak of early-stage body tempering stage 8. After 3 days of cultivation, with the help of the transforming strength pill, not only had his cultivation been stabilized, but he had also made further progress. 18 days have passed since the last monthly test. Mo Qingyun calculated the time and thought about his next plan. There are 12 days left until the family competition. If I try my best, I might be able to reach the 9th layer body tempering realm before the family competition. Then there's no need to hesitate. I'll refine another batch of energy refining pills and try my best to break through to the 9th layer body tempering realm. Mo Qingyun took out the scarlet flame cauldron, herbs, and spiritual herbs once again and started to refine the pills without any hesitation. Half a day later, the scarlet flame cauldron emitted a fragrance of pills. The energy refining pills were completed. 10 pills, 1 more than the last time. The quality is still at the beginner 3rd grade. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun was satisfied. He placed the energy refining pills into a jade bottle. Then, Mo Qingyun swallowed a transforming strength pill and began to cultivate and improve his cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. At this moment, Mo Qingyun, who had been cultivating, suddenly opened his eyes. 9th layer body tempering realm. Feeling the violent force in his body, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with joy. After 10 days of crazy cultivation, his cultivation had finally reached the 9th layer body tempering realm. Then, Mo Qingyun started to cultivate again, stabilizing his cultivation at the 9th layer body tempering realm. A day later, Mo Qingyun opened his eyes again. His cultivation at the 9th layer body tempering realm had been completely stabilized. Now that my cultivation has broken through to the 9th layer body tempering realm, it's time to go back since the family competition is tomorrow. Mo Qingyun calculated the time in his heart. But before he stood up, he rolled his eyes and said to himself, "It'll be too shocking if I go back like this. It's better to hide my cultivation." Door of Sealing Seal. Under the effect of the door of sealing, Mo Qingyun's cultivation gradually weakened, and finally stopped at the peak of the 7th layer body tempering realm. After settling some matters, Emo Qingyun did not stay any longer. He packed up and left the cave. A few hours later, Emo Qingyun returned to his residence. What surprised her was that the two girls, Emo Xiao and Emo Ling, were actually at her place. "Xiao Xiao, Sister Ling, why are you here?" Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and greeted Emo Xiao and Emo Ling. "Qingyun, where have you been these days? Uncle and the others were worried when they didn't see you these days." Seeing Emo Qingyun's return, Emo Ling and Emo Ling's expressions relaxed and said with a worried tone, After hearing this, Emo Qingyun was a little surprised, and said with a smile, "I went to the Purple Bamboo Mountain to train. I just came back today." "Oh, so that's how it is." Emo Ling and Emo Ling's faces showed that they believed Emo Qingyun's words. They then said, "Let's go tell Uncle and the others first, so they won't be too worried." "Okay." Emo Qingyun nodded in agreement. After that, Emo Qingyun and the two girls went to Emo Feipeng's residence to report that they were safe. "I just heard that Emo Tsang's cultivation has reached the peak of the 10th layer body tempering realm." Peak of the 10th layer body tempering realm. Emo Tsang is too strong. I don't think anyone in the Emo clan has reached this level in the previous clan competitions. It can't be helped. Emo Tsang has the level 10 Nether Tiger martial spirit. His talent is outstanding, so it's normal that his cultivation speed is fast. If that's the case, Emo Qingyun is in trouble. Emo Tsang's cultivation at the peak of the 10th layer body tempering realm is not ordinary. On the way to Emo Feipeng's residence, some of the younger generation's words were heard by Emo Qingyun. Peak of the 10th layer body tempering realm. Chapter 42. Not long after, Emo Qingyun and the others arrived at Emo Feipeng's place. Coincidentally, Emo Feilin and Emo Yueru were both present. Emo Feipeng's group of 3 relaxed when they saw Emo Qingyun return. "You little monkey, where have you been these days? We were so worried about you." Emo Feilin smiled and rubbed Emo Qingyun's head, asking in a caring tone. Feeling Emo Feilin's concern and the concerned gazes of Emo Feipeng and the others, Emo Qingyun was touched and replied, "I went to the Purple Bamboo Mountain for training and just came back." Went to the Purple Bamboo Mountain for training. Emo Feipeng and the others' expressions changed. Their gazes toward Emo Qingyun were filled with relief and affection. Everyone in the Emo clan was saying that Emo Qingyun's talent was outstanding, and that he had obtained a fortunate encounter, which allowed his cultivation to improve rapidly. Little did they know that Mo Qingyun's achievements were all due to his hard work in cultivation. Cultivating alone in the Purple Bamboo Mountain for a month, no one could understand the loneliness and hardship he had gone through. It was impossible to reach the heavens in a single step. Behind the success, there were always 10 or 100 times more hardships than others. Emo Qingyun was obviously in the same situation. Behind the improvement of his cultivation, there was a hidden bitterness and sweat that no one knew about. "Silly kid, you must have suffered a lot in the past month. Come, sit down and tell us how you've spent the past month." After knowing where Emo Qingyun had been for the past month, Emo Feipeng and the others' gazes became gentler, as they said with a heartache. Following this, Emo Qingyun sat down beside Emo Feipeng and the others, and briefly told them about his experience in the past month. Of course, he did not tell them about his martial spirit's special ability and his battle against a 10th layer body tempering realm beast. After all, it would be too shocking if he told them. Besides, these things were related to his trump card. If he told them, he would have less to rely on. Fighting a body-tempering Stage 8 demonic beast alone. After learning from Emo Qingyun that he had fought an 8th-layer body-tempering realm beast at the Purple Bamboo Mountain, Emo Feipeng and the others felt a lingering fear. A body-tempering Stage 8 demonic beast's battle prowess was astonishing. Some gifted demonic beasts could even battle a body-tempering Stage 9 martial artist. Mo Qingyun had engaged in a fierce battle with them. The degree of danger could be imagined. If he wasn't careful, he might have perished there. Of course, other than being worried, Mo Feiping and the others were even more shocked by Mo Qingyun's strength. Unknowingly, Mo Qingyun had grown to such an extent that he was able to fight against a beast of the 8th layer body tempering realm. At this moment, if Mo Qingyun had not personally explained it, they would not have been able to imagine it. Mo Qingyun had entered too quickly. Good lad, I didn't expect you to be able to hold your own in such a short time. Mo Feilin laughed heartily as he patted Mo Qingyun's shoulder with a joyful expression. Then, Mo Feilin stood up and smiled at Mo Qingyun. Come, let's fight. Let me see your true strength. Alright. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate as he stood up and attacked Mo Feilin. Since his rebirth, he had not fought with a true energy stage cultivator. Now that he had the chance, he naturally did not want to miss it. Fourth uncle, I'm coming. Mo Qingyun chuckled as he raised his hand and threw a punch at Mo Feilin. His fist was filled with a violent force. Bang! Then, with a dull thud, Mo Qingyun's fist landed on Mo Feilin's palm. Then, there was a rebounding force that caused Mo Qingyun to retreat a few steps. Peak of Body Tempering Realm Level 7. After a test, Mo Feilin quickly learned of Mo Qingyun's cultivation, and he was immediately surprised. Mo Qingyun's cultivation had reached the peak of Body Tempering Stage 7 and was only a step away from Body Tempering Stage 8. At the end of the last monthly test, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had only just broken through to Body Tempering Stage 7. In just a month, Mo Qingyun's cultivation was about to break through again. His cultivation speed was shocking. In the eyes of Mo Feiping and the rest, Mo Qingyun's martial spirit was only a first-grade martial spirit. A first-grade martial spirit's cultivation speed was almost comparable to a grade 9 or grade 10 martial spirit. This was incredible. Moreover, it seemed that Mo Qingyun's improvement in the past month was not comparable to the improvement in the past few months. However, you have to understand that Body Tempering Stage 7 is the highest level of the Body Tempering Stage. After reaching this level, one's body will be able to condense inner strength, which is a qualitative improvement. Therefore, after reaching Body Tempering Stage 7, the speed of cultivation will slow down. Advancing one level in a month was terrifying. Good. After knowing Mo Qingyun's cultivation, Mo Feiping's face was filled with joy as he laughed heartily. He could already imagine how much Mo Qingyun had suffered in the past month and how much effort he had put in. Otherwise, Mo Qingyun's cultivation would not have improved so much. Oh right. Uncle, why don't I see Sister Mo Xian? After that, Mo Qingyun and the rest chatted for a while. Seeing that Mo Xian was not around, Mo Qingyun asked. She has been cultivating in seclusion since the last monthly test. Speaking of Mo Xian, Mo Feiping's face revealed a trace of relief. He smiled faintly and said, "This girl wants to break through to the half-step true energy realm before the family competition. Her personality is as strong as her mother's." It seems like Sister Mo Xian is unwilling to admit defeat. She doesn't want Mo Tsang to catch up with her. After knowing Mo Xian's situation, Mo Qingyun chuckled. You can't blame Mo Xian. After all, this is related to the opportunity to enter the spiritual hall. It's understandable that she's working so hard. Mo Feilin chuckled and said with a serious expression. Spiritual hall? Mo Qingyun was puzzled. The spiritual hall is a secret place in the family. Only the patriarch and the patriarch's successor can enter. Apart from that, the winner of the annual family competition can also enter once to cultivate. The duration is 1 month. Mo Feilin explained to Mo Qingyun, the spiritual hall is full of vitality. Breaking through to the true energy realm will be twice as effective with half the effort. Apart from that, it is said that cultivating in the spiritual hall for 1 day is equivalent to cultivating in the outside world for 5 days. It actually has such an effect. Mo Qingyun was surprised. Then, a trace of yearning for the spiritual hall rose in his heart. If he could enter, his cultivation level would probably rise even faster. I must get first place in the family competition. Mo Qingyun clenched his fist and made a decision in his heart. Do you really want to cultivate in the spiritual hall? Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression, Mo Yueru and the others looked at each other and smiled. Mo Feilin smiled and said, "But you don't have to be too anxious. Just get first place in this year's family competition. After all, your foundation is still too shallow. Your fourth uncle is right. Peak body tempering stage 7 cultivation. With such strength, you can only rank in the top 30. There's still a big gap between you and first place." Mo Feiping continued, "But you don't have to be discouraged. With your current speed of improvement, you still have a great chance to compete for first place in next year's family competition." Next year's family competition? Mo Qingyun pursed his lips. A faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He thought to himself, it seems like eldest uncle, second aunt, and fourth uncle don't have much confidence in me. However, Mo Qingyun did not explain. After all, what Mo Feiping and the others said was the truth. It was impossible for a body tempering stage 7 cultivation to compete for first place. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.